What was that first game? Let's finally get onto the Rift and enjoy some League of Legends and some Gyos. Award was taken by Care there. It's a tiny bit of XP. So a full invade from FPX. He wants to use the fact that they have the Scion and the early CC of the Silas E. Top users don't really have CC that they'd like to level at that level 1. Sometimes you can do it with the bubble. They use the second W to scout from the Lucian. Put the ward down. This is where it gets dangerous, actually, because you really don't want to walk into a Scion key. You really don't. That brush is fine. They clear that out. They do get the ward too. There's still an invade coming through them. So they clear 2 wards, clear 2 brushes, but there's a third here. Now they get seen. So reminder, top users don't really have that much CC at level 1. Vi is a very bad level 1 champion. You should invade them when possible. Lucian W comes out, bit of damage. Q coming through from the threaded volley. E, Q, and E gets connected by that Silas. Who ends up getting the most of the Raptors. Ends up being not enough on either side, actually, to determine... sorry, I had my volume down on the game a little bit too far there. Should now be fine. Just realized the game sound was really low, and I realized I hadn't changed it that much. Dwayne started with that E, so didn't have the handshake. So FPS get, like, half the camp, but most of the time when you get a bit of that camp, you wonder whether you get an early level 2. Wasn't the case there to change things too much. So Shadow a little bit ahead, because a little bit of those Raptors taken. Kanavi, though, was a magnificent early path, though, when he plays for individual advantage. He's been playing towards bot lane a little bit more than he would do in last split. This bot lane is very important too. So Lucian can beat out the Clisterada. So Clisterada very strong in the early lane there. Very strong. Ooh, speaking of that, heal blown early from Dre. Dre, I actually don't know whether he made it to All Pro. Let me go check that real quick, actually. Cat jumping forwards. Using the full rotation he has on level 2. No, sadly, Joy didn't make All Pro. Chris made it in over him. I would have put Joy as third. Cat jumping forwards. Again, use that E backwards, actually. More in towards Cat Cream. Good early landing phase. Kanavi invaded again. Shadow a little bit ahead in terms of that clear. Trixie's not going down to help, importantly so. Because Care was on the roam first. Ooh, shit, going beyond. Oh shit, that's a problem. Lots of damage being put onto him, and doesn't even flash, just straight dies. Suddenly, though, even though they're on the weak side, Cat jumps forward, has that E again, connects it, and that'll be a kill back on towards Kanavi. FPS call up 2 solo laners, not just 1. Cream losing out in those early trades, so couldn't come to help. Oh, I tell you what, my hay fever is not taking things easily on me today. So if you hear me sniffling in the background, you just ignore that for my sake and for yours. Barrier pop now as well. Flash handshake. Kill flashed away from Chris as the run. You see it was used backwards. Kanavi runs into Shadow again. Shadow, we did say he needed to have a good game on this Pantheon. He needs to try and somehow snowball FPX. Well, he got 1 kill out of the early game, but it wasn't before a kill went towards Kanavi, who's had his first back now because he did die. And we spotted on Krugs. Shadow really jumping deep here. Cat coming forwards again, though. Kanavi's just going to die. Kanavi is just going to die. The lanes are not coming to help him, and this is how you deal with a Vi. You attack them early. You attack them early and try and force their lanes to go help them. Top Esports, they want their lanes to stay in their lanes. Kanavi now dying twice. The MVP of regular season killed twice within 5 minutes by Shadow and by Cat. Both of them really the architects of that. And let me be clear. It's like an Obama speech. No, let me be clear. It's not really on Kanavi. You know, Kanavi needs lanes to come help him. Big damage again coming in. Doesn't have the Q cooldown. Only the rank 1 of that. Standing and fighting though. Dragon now aggroing onto Shadow, which definitely doesn't help. Under half HP. Kanavi though thought he had a winner to take the Dragon. Died twice. Forced off of Dragon. Half a level down. Going on a full level down. Shadow has had a masterclass of this first clear. Masterclass. Dragon goes down to FPX, not to top esports, and Shadow is so far ahead of the matchup. Care having a great series, having a great laning phase in the early game so far too. It's important. Care is one of those players where, if he peaks at the right time, can be genuinely one of the best mid laners in the LPL. It's very, very good. This is point 11, by the way, Vitek. This is point 11, this patch. I need a quick 3-0 for top esports. I would prefer that too, because I've got a long day ahead of me. But yeah, quick 3-0 to either side would be quite nice to me. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you did say for top esports. Yeah, true. That's fair. Your wording did make it ambiguous. Kanavi on top side. Still ahead in terms of gold, because he got the individual kill. Shadow didn't get either of the kills onto Kanavi. Sheer safe into the start now. Swap from bot lane to top lane was completed by top esports. Some teams do this. I think that Kanavi and Crisp, Jackal and Crisp probably collectively decided, look, if we swap into the tank, we have 2v1 on either side, at least one side of the map will be one where our jungler can farm. If you're in, you know, losing lanes across the board, it's quite hard to protect your jungler. If you swap a lane, just having a 2v1 means that you get to escape some laning scenarios, which are annoying. And because Chris can now drop off of the lane and just let Lucian farm, Kanavi will have some help. Shadow getting another scuttle, which Kanavi did not have access to. Really good early pressure from FPX. A team which failed NIP to get here. Reminder that the teams in the lower seeds all made it through from play-ins into this splits playoffs. Including IG, who will play later today. BLG IG should be a banger series, hopefully. Grub's now started up for FPX. Is there an answer coming through? Do you have level 6 reprieve? Teleport coming quite early. Good damage from Masood and Chway. Pop the cholesterol, pop the ult, and the heal. And suddenly, Care goes down on the backside of the fight. Kanavi flashes out. Anyone else coming through? Here comes the ult ultimate. Don't think it's going to hit anyone, though. Just out of range, Kanavi gets that Q through. Doesn't have that flash down to commit to it. But just missing. Assume has the bailout taking onto him. Getting some good spears up as well. That'll be a kill onto the AD carry. Goes down, though, afterwards. So it's a trade of AD carries. And Kanavi's Conqueror keeps him alive a little longer. There's no DPS left from FPX. And they will lose in what should be a 3-for-1, all things said and done. Assume trying to jump, hop, skip. That's the order that those words are set in. Towards the end of that team fight, we can't carry the fight of those items. Top E's must walk away with a huge early play. Care dying so early into that play. How did that happen so easily? Didn't expect Top E's to have the damage to shut him out so early. Care came in with a little bit of low HP. The fight happens on a very good timing for Top E's. Before Sound can get into the play, it's just a full Talia by combo. There you go. Care had no flash. And they do it on a timing so that Sion can't interrupt the combo. That's really well played for Top Esports. You know, if Jackal and Crisp hadn't managed to find that all in at the same time, maybe Assume and Dre could impact that play. And yes, Jackal goes a little too far forward after he gets caught out, but it's still only the one kill. 3 for 1, all things said and done, is incredible from the position that top esports are in. And a great shovel too. That's a killer for FPX, because they just kept Kanavi down. Great early pathing. They needed the early lanes, and now suddenly have a 3-kill Vi on the other side with 1,000 gold ahead. Yes, down about half a level still, because Kanavi's not had as access to scuttle crabs and stuff like that. Which, speaking of again, Shadow just takes another one. Those extra kills will make him much more of a threat. Kanavi, the MVP of the split for a reason. Great fight, great combo. Things around the map. Dragon, of course, was leashed by top esports. Shadow came over, bullied a Kanavi off of it, got the first one. The second one's now spawned. Shea coming down, has ultimate again. 369 wouldn't be able to impact this fight because he doesn't have teleport. He's not running down to it. Shea might just drop off away and look to impact something with that in mind. Having said, top esports, they do have two. Did they get any of those grubs? No, they didn't take them. They allowed one to go up to FPX. Haven't taken any objectives yet. Rather just get the gold instead. And right here they say, right, we're not going to go towards the dragon. We'll give 2 early dragons. Now they'll go over and finish grubs. But they wanted to get some gold in pocket, which, you know, makes sense. We're behind early. Shadow now coming over. Is Kanavi going to test anything? Shadow not been spotted on top side. It does have that ultimate, by the way. Could have used that to get towards top side instead. Now spotted. Cream just behind Kanavi, but we do have that fighting away combo. Nasty as hell! The smite fails, about 100 HP off. Can Kanavi get in range? He can, that would be an easy smite for him. Nope, he can't quite do so. Here comes the Ornn ultimate. Where are our flashes? Ethan, quite importantly, shit, buying some time with the ultimate. But here comes Chris from the side, and that is a good CC combo. Can't put the damage through anyway, though. Shadow managed to jump forwards first, and despite the fact that Chris thrown early, so FPX now running away with the play. The Hexgate getting some good extra ability to follow up on the plate, but even with that, FPX walking away with 2 kills without follow-up afterwards. 2 kills, 1 grub extra taken too, and just as we were praising top esports was having a good early fight, they couldn't call Jackalov in time for that plate. Trying to wave clear through. Aggro tagged by some minions, but misses. But suddenly, hang on a second, Sheer died on the back end of the plate, tagged too many shots. FPX, they had the tools to juggle that aggro, couldn't use them appropriately, will lose 1 kill, but take down Cream in the process. Jackalov taking mid lane 2 worth noting, so it's 1 for 2 in terms of grub trades, 1 for 1 in terms of plays under that tower, but another 2 kills before it. So it's 3 for 1 all things said and done. Catching it forwards, doesn't hit the E though. So, Cat, yes, stole the call of the forgery god. Dodge, that's really well played from Cat. Dodge is back in the tidal wave too, so he can get that reactivation. Gets the double Q onto the 369 and onto Kanavi, both parts of that Q, the initial cast and then the explosion afterwards. Not a bad wall coming in from Nami to get some extra terrain between her and the team. Ray jumps in and I thought, oh, okay, well, this is going to be obviously hell, isn't it? You jump forward, try and get some good CC onto him. And Konami does get a Q onto him to bop him out of the, you know, the animation from the ejector seat from the Herald. But the cholesterol saves him. It's a great follow-up afterwards to buy time with the hostile takeover. Dre having a great game so far. Can't get some range. Jekyll goes a little too far. Now, this is the point where you could have overdived. I mean, this was a barrier onto Jekyll, but the Bailout comes through, flashed out that last tower shot. That's half a second later, a tenth of a second later, probably would have been another tower shot on target and killed. Care walks away with Cosmic Drive, Hex with Proto Belt, Rocky Belt rather, and a 10-stack Dark Seal. This is such a fed Silas. You know, both these teams playing not dissimilar League of Legends compositions. But both of them have that kind of aggressive mid-jungle combination that can combo up well onto a single target. They both have that tank engaged top laners. Hang on a second. Konami goes on towards Care. Doesn't have flash. That's good. That's a good pick onto the side lane. Can they open things up from here? Goes on to the Atakan. Just to say, okay, quite similar compositions. That means that these leads mean an awful lot. A minute until Dragon reminder. FPX, they lose their mid laner, but they have prime positioning on bot side of the map for the Hextech Soul. Inner turret will fall as well. More gold towards them. More ability to walk through mid lane and then into one side of the map towards an objective. So tower goes down the top side. They do have objective bounties, so Atakan and that top lane outer turret. They have 35 petals right now, as you can see in the top on the top toolbar towards the outer edge of it. 20 seconds till Dragon. Would be Soul for FPX, an early Hextech Soul. That would just be disgusting. I don't see how you can run away from FPX if they start getting slows onto you as well. They have lots of mobility between Silas with early Cosmic Drive, and then of course Callista hopping and skipping. Shadow has his ultimate, could cut them across mid lane. FPX really wants to control this mid lane. Hang on a second, Care has the call of the Forge Guard, and Jacqueline's caught out just as Dragon spawns. Such an important moment. Top esports, they have no mid lane turrets to help push that up. Jacqueline goes way too early, cannot push up like that. The Pantheon alone would have been difficult, but Sion, Care with a stolen ultimate too, uses the call of the Forge God. Gets a good proc onto Cream there. Trey holding a rear guard action. They need to somehow steal this. Giving up a soul is not acceptable in this game, and they won't be able to do anything about it. Early soul, 22 minutes in. Hextech Soul for FPX. Heal burn by Dwayne. Gets to escape the combo there from Talia. Good click back. Bot lane out of turret on the menu here for FPX. Jackal coming back out of base. There are some lower HP bars for FPX. Here comes the call of Forge. Well, they want to fight this. They want to fight it in a 5v4. Force the flash out of Shadow. Not going to miss onto shit. Good combo coming through as the hostile takeover. 2, 3, 4. Dre gets everyone. 369 flashing forwards with FPX. I think they've done enough work now at this point. Konami does have flash, does have ult. Ooh, that's some low HP bars. Hextech Soul helping the retreats. Top is just really spawning for a fight, but FPX giving it as good as they take right now. Q not helping over the wall. Shadow has a good E there, but it's not going to help him enough. Triple knockback! And the flick back afterwards. FPX have themselves a Hextech Soul, but they still can't cleanly win the fight. His team starts to jump forwards, gets one. Can he get a second? No. Currently, a 2 for 1. 2 on the turret, though. FPX have that stolen Vi ultimate. They can't use it. Top esports, a good fight, despite giving up the objective. Somehow. FPX couldn't quite secure the retreat there. Lots of follow-up from top esports. Having the call of the Forge God, having the culling available. Top esports can chase you down from a long way away. Both teams quite good at chasing the enemy team once they start winning a fight. The Vi Lucian very mobile. This is a 4v5. Shadow lost a lot of HP. They have the turrets. Navi happy with this amount of damage. This is an awesome hostile caretaker to buy some time, though. At this point, Assume should have walked backwards. Assume you should not walk forwards like that. Has to flash backwards defensively after that. Just walk back again. Just secure your retreat. Don't play around with this low HP bar from Shadow. The triple locker, by the way, including the Glom, by the way. Oops. I did think that at the time. Gold is now even. Elder Dragon will be coming up in, you know, 4 or 5 minutes or so. It counts as a triple knockup because we saw a Gromp kill Lucian last week. That's fantastic. Yep, Gromp, you could be a champion, but, you know, only for that case. Navi has decent damage here. Needs to be careful with this. So all items coming through. And the first item was onto that Thunder Sky of Kanavi. Bit of extra HP, a little bit of extra AD as well. About 1,000 gold worth of stats. Baron is available. FPX do have the Callista Ren to help with it. Is the on-hit Callista as well. We have seen a bit of the lethality coming through. Blue Trinket used to scan out, not the Baron itself, interestingly, but the... one of the approaches to it is the all-seeing Baron. Does change that terrain a little bit. Chaos steals the Call of the Forgery God. Still a vision blackout. Top esports really do need to face check this. Problem is, it's hard to retreat against that Hextech Soul. Yeah, look at that. It's been annoying. And that being said, Shadow might have gone too far. No E now left. Trying to kill off that jungle, but now suddenly I think he's gone too deep. The hostile takeover by Lord of Time. And here comes the rebuttal. The Call of the Forgery God forced to flash out. Jackalove no longer doing any DPS. And FPX winning the tug of war in the mid lane. There is no way for them to win this fight now. They've lost too many members, lost too many HP. FPX find themselves another great fight, 4 for none, despite the fact that they lost the fight with their Hextech Soul just before that. FPX will not just take themselves the kills, but a tower as well, teleporting in. They might even look for the game end. Not even 27 minutes into the game, and it is just Jackalove waiting to see if he can survive. Another 10 seconds, Cat flashing forwards, and Jackalove, left alone on the turret, will be left alone no more as he joins his friends in the grey screen. Towers go down, and in under 27 minutes, FPX will break the Nexus turrets and break the game. FPX, a statement game against our first seed for the regular season. 26 minutes, 56 seconds. FPX take game 1. Top side, go towards the Xayah. Xayah Rakan likely locked in now. Jway, do you want to go for that Rel? Rel doesn't look bad here. Nautilus probably better against the Rakan. Jway, good player of it. So, bot lane's a little different. Jackalove's Xayah, historically pretty good to my memory. And again, most of Jackalove's champions have been historically pretty good. Very different composition from that first game. Kanavi with a much better ability to fend for himself at that level 1. Which the Vi couldn't really do so. A bit more side laning pressure from both top laners. The Yorick-Jax matchup will be one which both teams will want to snowball. In the bot lane, very good at anti-melee. You know, there's 3 melees on top esports with the Rakan being an extra kind of half one, 4 on the side of the other one with the... okay, so no, 3.5 because the Rise doesn't count. Okay, let's get ourselves some more JOs. Game 2, top esports unexpectedly down in the series. Some gyros coming out from the crowd there. Some top esports. Okay, so Kanavi, man, Lee Sin looks so different once they made his ponytail way more prominent, and I'm not sure I like it. It looks a bit janky on some of those skins. It looks okay on this one. Cream could potentially start with that. The Realm Prison, the Rune Prison, level 1. Shadow spots that ward going down, so we'll know what information top esports have on him in terms of wards. Now what he can do is start red buff, that he can turn up on Raptors in a different order. E start from Cream. Gives him a bit more wave push, of course, a little bit. Kanavi starts on his own red buff. So both junglers starting on red buff. Helps that clear speed, of course, but does mean you have it a little less available for first fights of the game. She had good passive usage in this early start. Used that E2 well. Shears Jax has always been one of his best champions from when he came in as a... Ooh, hang on, the hook landed, but the frost bomb not connecting because of that hook too. That hit, maybe the laning phase will go a little bit differently here, actually. This first frost bomb's the game. Very threatening, very high damage for level 1. Quite hard to dodge out as well. They increase the missile speed of it. Shadow spotted going towards his Raptors now. Now, they don't have wards onto Kanavi. Use that safeguard on the second wave coming in. I always love it when that happens. Or the third wave, rather. So, FPX no early plan for this game. In terms of like the level 1 shenanigans. Which did help them an awful lot the last time. Once again, sheer good combo there. Another Frost Bomb not quite really connecting there. Not quite really connecting. Wow, so many words to say. It missed. Sometimes verbosity does not help. FPX have given a really good showing, though, in that first game. One of the most dominant wins I've seen from them in a while. It was against ranked 1 team from Group Ascend. Yes, for those of you asking in chat, yes, Jackie was first All-Pro AD carry this split, and yeah, some questions about whether that... Hang on a second, Shadow going to his bot side, level 4, has that flash. He did have wards onto his early clear, they should have had a timer on towards this. Feather pullback. Ends up being Ignite for heal, and a bit of time wasted from Shadow. He'll go towards that bot scuttle now. Does mean that Sheer is on the weak side of the map. Ghouls. Don't die to a single auto attack all the time now, but once you get some HP, it stopped doing so. It's quite so much. Cream, early roam. Care was the one that was roaming earlier the last time. She had jumped out of that morning mist, and that means there's a lot less HP now. On to 369. Creep coming in. Does have that rune prison. Does he have another... where's the counter strike? Does he have it on cooldown? Has it now. Goes flash forward. Tries to get that last kill, but can't quite get the hit onto Cream. Cream makes it out alive. Double flash from Kanavi in 369. She will not get that return kill. Kill goes over towards the Yorick, who is their intended member. There's that Shadow. Didn't quite get himself stop on that recall. She played that pretty well, you know, on the whole. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be quite surprised to see Jackal his first All-Pro Eddie carry from top esports, given the fact that players like Hope, Pays had very, very good splits. Okay, of course, trying to trade with that passive a little bit. It's quite well done. Cream has flash still. The one member on top side who didn't use anything in that play. Oh, flash forwards. Shadow maybe going a little too far now. Chris coming in on a good timing. Does flash the force the flash out of Cream. Still not that much HP left there. Cast the body block that last bit. So Shadow gets the flash out of Cream, trading it for his own. Care now the only member on either team's top side to have a flash to use. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be surprised to see Jackal on that first team, as we're saying. Who else made All-Pro? Of course, I think it was 369 Kanavi, Knights, Jackulov, and then who got first All-Pro? I think it was Kyle. Kyle was the first All-Pro team support. Yeah, it was. Second team was Flondre, Tarzan, Shanks, Pays, and On. I would have put On as my first team. I think On was incredible second half of this one. And then third team was the Shy, Shen, Scout, Hope, and Crisp. So I'm surprised that Jway didn't make it into top 3 supports. I think he had a very good split. Dragon started by top piece. It's already a much better early game. It's been 1,000 gold ahead. Starting up Dragon right now. Ooh, hang on a second. Going towards bot lane instead now. Shadow, no flash to help on his own side. Crisp, no escape from that. Lots of pings towards bot side. So top pieces peel off for the Dragon. They had a Realm Warp to help them. They did find a pick there. Carrot level 6 Mark 2. No flash on Cream Reminder. Shadow traded his for Cream's. Cream taking a decent trade against Care. Of course, every time you get a point in your ultimate now, it increases the value of your combo. It's the way that they kind of made Ryze feel like a champion at the ultimate mark. Also worth noting, by the way, Jackalov and the Shy are the two most popular players within the LPL. They are very, very popular. There is, in fact, an award at the end of the season, which is the LPL most popular player award. Both of them have done very well in that category before. Of course, hang on a second. -1 for Cream. And I really do enjoy watching them play. They're very fun players with a ton of fan support behind them, which increases the hype around their matches. Nice to see the crowd get active when they start doing well. Both of them, of course, world champions from the 2018 roster. Onivia and Jackalov roaming towards that top side. Crisp already behind that top lane. 369 starting to crawl ahead in terms of match versus the Jax. If the Yorick gets ahead of the Jax, it's very hard to shut down again. One grub taken, the second one soon to be taken after. Full 3 grub sweep for top piece. FPX struggling to get a foothold in this game in the same way as they did that last game. Had a very comprehensive level 1 plan, which they've not been able to match in game 2. Anything notable in terms of the map so far? Assume even with Jackalov. Shiv putting that Dark Procession down. Cage taken away, one becomes slightly missing, and Shadow still no flash from the early and mid lane play. Trying to save his maiden now, going into a quick 1v2. Maiden goes down. So let's put on cooldown. That's a long cooldown. Basically, if you manage to kill the maiden, it means that Yorick doesn't win the 1v1 as hard anymore. Which means that you stop gaining that kind of crawling gold we were talking about before. Dragon nest started by FPX. No dragon taken so far. Remember, top piece had a quick look in towards it. It peeled off of it, knowing that FPX was grouping. No big plays really mounting across the map. Slow again, much slower again than the last time. FPX will need to be a little bit worried that they do have a quadruple melee confidence with Xayah that's doing well in early game. Hex flashed into the brush. What is there to really say about this game now? The top piece was obviously bouncing back very well. Onivia on the board. By this point in the game, it died like 3 times or something like that. FPX did a very good job of shutting down. I am quite worried for FPX that if they just slowly play this game, eventually they're going to run into like a 2-3 item Xayah who's going to be able to get a huge feather pull. 369 is ahead of the Jax matchups. The side lanes aren't going to be as easy. That's going to be spotted it. Slight heal coming through from the Gleaming Quill. 369 trying to see if he could stop the recoil from shit. There was a threat of, you know, Kadavi coming in for a big old kick. Hang on a second. 369 took aggro somewhere of it. Plate now shared between him and Kadavi. They have the 3 grubs reminder. So there's going to be 2 plays taken. In fact, it is going to be shared goal. I was wondering actually whether 369 would be able to get in range for the assist. Still had the damage over time they're taking from grubs, so should increase that a little bit. Way out onto the map. FPX feeling a bit toothless in this early game. This is the point of the game where they really do need to find some advantages, I think. I think the 1 item mark with Kali Shin's out. I think you really want to start like getting some big fights now. I think the later this game goes and it being even, the worse it is for FPX. Knavi in his interview earlier, by the way, while getting MVP, said, I want to thank my 4 great teammates on top esports. I can't get this without them. Thanks to the coaching staff, feels the same as 2020 when it was the last time he got the regular split MVP. Feels great to get acknowledged. Personally, my motivation comes from that I always aim to win the championship and try to win every game. Also, it comes from the support of fans. If I didn't do well, they'll be disappointed, so I want to show a good performance. Very PR, but nice to see his appreciation for those that have supported him as well. Shouldn't forget those that throw out that support along the way. Top East was a first stand. Probably did disappoint a number of people. Hey, I was born, there was nothing probably. They did disappoint some people along that, but bouncing back well into this split. Of course, one of our teams which is shortlisted to go towards MSI. Will be 2 teams. Our 2 finalists from LPL will be making it there. Much shorter, slower game than the last one. By this point, we had about, what, a kill a minute, I think, at this point last game. Okay, Dark Possession lands onto Sheer. Use that counter-strike to block out that last right. Ugh, my nose is so blocked. Allergies. Pollen, leave me alone! No one really willing to force a play. I mean, top esports, I guess they don't need to. Yeah, I guess they don't need to. Cream now does have the ultimate. Could use that Realm Warp. Safeguard over the wall. There we go. Alright. Trying to get behind that turret. Shit. Is he out of attack range right now? Yes, he is. Teleport onto the ruins of the tower. Doesn't get stopped now. When the tower dies, that teleport will always complete through to the location. Which is definitely a change of all time. Messed with my instincts a lot when that happened. Oh, I could just kill the tower. No, you can't. Tower goes down. No play to be made. Sheer backed off in time. First tower to start a top esports. Herald spawning now. We're going to get a fight. Are we going to get anything? The top esports have sometimes been one of our slower teams because they're very methodical. They're very good at playing methodical. FPX, not a team which I think benefits from playing slow. They are, you know, an early game skirmish team if they're successful most of the time. With some late game performances from Dway on stuff like Nico and Renata, as we saw in that last game, of course. Top laners both teleporting towards the bot side of the map. They won't be joining this if there is a fight around it. Shadow taking a lot of damage from the Herald. One of the big changes to... Hang on a second. Hook misses. Herald a flank. Already quite difficult to play this out into the... Jaculum not hit by the Nautilus ultimate. Good kick. Triple damage coming through from the Dragon's Rage. That being said, though, Care gets himself a chance to potentially look for assassination. But Jaculum gets there first. 2 down. Care tries to clean up the AD carry and does so. 3 kills for the side of FPX. They only lose 2. Care does clean up well, but on the other side of the map, 369 forces Sheer away from the turret and takes himself a tower kill on the other side of the map. Top esports walk away with feats of strength despite the fact that they lost the top side plate. That went pretty well for FPX all in all. Care managed to clean up an awful lot. I thought that, hey, no, the Nautilus ult doesn't hit onto the Xayah. Xayah's going to start stacking up the lethal tempo. It's going to be a pain. Jackalope couldn't quite carry, though, towards the back end of the fight. Did get some good damage down. It wasn't a blowout fight. The Nautilus ult was still onto like 3 people. One of the great things about Nautilus is that if you're jumped on, you can just ping your ult back. This is a 3-man's Dragon's Rage. I would have thought this would be a nice and easy kill. Not quite as simple as that. Shadow has that Summoned Sky. Had that ultimate to delay a lot of that damage. Oh, Jackal very nearly getting a double huge pullback, but I think actually the reposition from Shadow meant that he took a lot less damage from those feathers on the way back. So once again, not a bad fight from FPX early on into the game. 2 kills now for Cat. On the other side, Cream, significant amount of gold up though still, despite being a kill down. Chris caught out. Does he have any ult to E2? Has a W instead. Safe. Lost a lot of HP though. 369 on the flank. Can he get a good trade on Akali? If he does, that removes a lot of the kill threat from FPX. So much to land that Dark Procession. Kanavi hops over the wall. Misses the Q though. That means that the dragon goes down. Can FPX get themselves a retreat? Oh, they might not need it. They cancel the realm warp with a good hook, and Shui finds another great play. Kanavi, it's the backline. Chris trying to delay a little bit. Jackalov is completely left out dry though. That's all B Sports. Can't get themselves the objective. Lose a bunch of kills again. That's 4 already. And FPX won game 1 in 27 minutes. And here now, before the 18-minute mark, they've just cleaned up 4 kills for 1. What have FPX been drinking? What's been in the water? What have they been trading? Because FPX look like a completely different team. They had a 5-game series versus NIP to make it into playoffs. Before that, they were on a 6 individual game loss streak. 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. FPX hit playoffs like a bat out of hell. 4 kills onto Kazakali. Insane. Escapes the 1v2 from the top side. Cancel out the round 1. I have no idea why they were positioning like that with no front line. Shea gets onto the back line. Jackie left that in a 1v2. Kanavi not able to clean up cleanly. Does get the kill onto a scene. But it's too late. You're on a 1-man mission to get a 1 kill. Like, this is a very split fight. The more split the fight is, the worse it is for the Xayah. I'm not going to blame Jackalov for that one at all. Top East was just throwing their bodies at the enemy, but forgetting that they need to have someone in front of the Xayah at this point in the game. Yes, eventually Jackalov will be very, very painful. Very powerful to deal with. Hang on a second. Teleport behind. Jack's coming in too. FPS looking for another fight. Hook misses, and that'll be the end of it. If they landed that hook, maybe. We buy enough time for the Nautilus ultimate to finish off the fight as well. 360 died quite far ahead of the game still. Need to keep an eye on that one. To be honest, Lee Sin plus Yorick sounds bad. will lose the 1v1 here. 369 getting 1 kill onto Shadow 2. FPX giving as good as they take. Another one falls. Cream using the... He misses that. I think Cam might actually win the 1v1 there, by the way, onto the Yorick. Doesn't get that what's it call it? Rob. But the Riftmaker makes it a lot easier to fight in the side lane. No magic resist on 369 either. Cam with the Conqueror, no electrocute. Blue buff secured. Team blue buff as well, because it's 25 minutes. And that means that Baron increases the value of buffs. Isn't Kanavi just jobless this game? No. I think he's actually doing very well, and his objective secure potential is very important for the rest of this game. Now, he's had like triple Dragon Rage kicks, like 3 times this game, twice maybe. He's been doing well individually. Kanavi's Lee Sin is always a pleasure to watch. Going towards what could be the GA third item too. 369 is such an underrated top laner, gets overshadowed by Bin and the Shy. I think he was the best top laner in this regular split. He's been very good. Hey, Joe, I can see you, by the way. Air on the side lane once more. I really want to see how Care uses this advantage. He has 5 kills. I say advantage, but you know what I mean. Both mid laners are ahead of the curve. Lands their E. Does technically stack up the Riftmaker by doing so. Great caught out. The flash. Shadow goes in, tries to buy some time. E over the wall. Kanavi might get caught out and let himself there. Chris buying time, but Jekyll has the feather fallback, and Care goes down. A kit pick onto Dway explodes into 4 kills as top esports will move towards the dragon. Baron. So how the heck did that happen? Dway walking up too far. I think FPX should have just let him die. Shit. Not exactly winning out on the side lane either. The upgraded steel cap's definitely helping him shrug off some of that damage too. Baron goes down. Mixes time. Might even be able to turn and fight now. Protecting the maiden with the morning, the dark procession. Off topic, any chance for ARAMs with viewers sometime? I mean, maybe. So, the hook into the wall. Right, yeah. If that hook misses, Dre's safe. Oh, that's a shame. That's the real shame for him. He landed across the wall, but Kanavi knows he's in front of the Desire. Chris was there to buy time. A hook onto the wall from Dway cost his team 4 kills. Press gonna go down. Let's throw it in bot lane flames. Knavi. Good kick there. Well, I say good kick. Doesn't get the kill. Good damage there, rather. Almost kills off Dway. Really feeling it. Going towards that GA, as we said before. Mid lane in a turret now, falling 2. So there's 2 inners taken. Top lane is not being corralled in by top esports. Care on the flank. FPX, if they can get a kill onto the clump here, maybe the conversation changes. The problem is, Jackalov has everything. How do you get on top of this side? Zonya's coming through, Care in the back line, but it's not buying enough time here. It's not buying enough time at all. 2 dead, soon to be 3. Care goes into the back line, might kill Chris, but it's not worth it. Doesn't even get that kill. FPX. Maybe they thought they could get themselves an early soul into an early game end again, but it is not the case. Top esports wiped them at the Dragon, wiped them to get the Baron, and wiped them on the push. 29.5 minutes. Top esports keeping up the tempo here with 2 very quick wins in our first 2 games of the series, 1-1. Instead, the Alistair slips through towards 5th pick instead. So Toppies did get themselves enough engaged. The Poppy goes to the jungle. Triple dashes to Nye on top side. The Rel as well when she gets into the play. Gragas, great disengage for top esports. Looking to buy space and time for the long range carries to do the work. I do think top esports have easier ways to team fight. The one fly in the ointment is what happens if a really good Sejuani ultimate comes through, but if Crisp takes it, you can cleanse it with the ultimate. And if it doesn't hit Kanavi, it can hit you with the hammer swing as well to punch someone out. There's your drafts for game 3. Taylor Giles.
欢迎来到英雄联盟。敌军还有30秒到达战场。
There's a bit of a miscommunication in there, I think, actually. I think there were 2 teams cheering at the same time. Okay, I'm going to need you to play ruler levels of Tristana this game. Did Ruler have a really good Tristana game recently, to my memory? I haven't been able to watch as much LCK as I would have liked to this flip. If this game goes late, I wouldn't be surprised if FPX deals so much damage that top users can't do much. That's true. However, my problem is, like, how do you deal that damage if a good cast comes through and stops your AD carries from auto-attacking? You know, if what I see happening is Shadow or Dway jumping into the play, Cask punting out 1 or 2 of the AD carries, and then Cream and Jackal being able to deal enough damage to the isolated front line. It doesn't matter anymore. No worry. The shenanigans and the fairly paths? No. Award from FPX onto Top's Raptors. So I'll have a little bit of information on Kanavi's clip. We went 14-1 on Tristan. Kanavi walking into the enemy side of the jungle. Of course, Poppy gets to hit full build at level 3 with a red buff. Doesn't need anything else from the game at that point. Becomes the gremlin in the jungle. Shadow going from box top, not seeing the engage. Hang on a second, double combo from Crisp. Fourth shot from Assume doesn't do that much. Jekyll activates that press the attack, that's a good value. Backs off from the play, really good 2v2 from Jekyll and Chris. Chris double pulverize definitely helps. Is Grom gonna get stolen away here from by Kanavi? Didn't even have to use the smite actually. Oh, does he flash over? He has the Hex Flash. He flashed over the, hang on a second, shit. Has flash, we'll need to use it well. Where's the red buff slope? There it is, there's a red buff. Just the Q down. I don't know if Shadow can really help this one. Level 3 hit from Kanavi. Okay, maybe you can. Maybe you can. That does change things. You have the melee synergy up here. 369 has to flash instead. Navi did use the E onto shear that. Navi going towards his own Krugs now. Raptor Steel likely from Shadow, especially with Care pushing into the early mid lane. Shadow, I thought he would be completely dumpstered from this early game. Not the case. Well, stealing away enemy jungle camps takes a little longer than taking your own because of the counter jungling debuff. Full Raptor Steel taken by Shadow. Important there to keep himself up in the early jungle matchup. Crisp on the roam. Doesn't manage to get anything. Kanavi Hex flashed over. Oh, he wasn't seen. Flash in. Hits the combo. Cat still managing to flash out. Is there any extra damage? Is there anything left? Yes, there is. Cream. A couple of soldiers. And the sand will do the work. Cat buying a cull. Has teleport to come back into the mid lane. Really good roam up by Crisp. Just won that bot lane with a double pulverize. Comes into mid lane and manages to combo up onto Care. I guess he just didn't see Kanavi coming in from the Hex Flash into the river too. Hex Flash nasty as hell. We don't always see it on the Poppy jungle anymore, by the way. It used to be so key on Poppy, allowed you to kind of get that ability to really rush out of a bush. Use the Nimbus Cloak. Hex Flash into Nimbus Cloak is really nasty. I think maybe Care thought, okay, well Kanavi's going to go towards bot side, go towards setup towards the bot side scuttle. Instead manages to go through mid lane to do so. Ten CS lead, Gogon. Yeah, Gogon 15 for sheer, the top lane. Shadow starting with the first dragon. FPX very dragon-centric for this series, like very much so. See would Drake get bot side push to help out with this one. Will be taken. First dragon of the game for FPX. Navi not able to get a wall stun onto Care. Doesn't have the flash. Ooh, good buster shot there. Keeps him safe. World record for this split, by the way. Cream 5 and 6 on the EZ for this split. Jesus, that's a low win rate considering that top esports have been winning so much. Still doing a 50%. Sir?
Bearing coffee.
Oh, lovely. Oh, thank you. The gift of coffee.
It is a wonderful gift, isn't it?
I do appreciate. Shadow potentially. Yeah, good lane hit. No. Found. Didn't have level 6, so he's having stuck.
Yeah, like this is the right way around.
Seb. Jamana is technically in building as well. I say that next week, see if he wants to join again.
May get the impromptu tricast.
Yeah, I might get an impromptu tricast.
It's been a while since did we ever have a tricast at
No, I don't think so. Maybe an NLC.
That's what I was wondering. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember.
I can't personally remember if we have done. So I'll give you the headphones now. I might have to dip out for points of the series just because my hay fever is really decking me right now.
I can hear you getting a little bit.
I've taken 4 anti-series so far.
Oh, good grief.
So if you dare ask me if I've taken them, Sam, I will
shoot me. Yeah.
I will shoot you and then I will.
Hey, Alex.
I will shoot you and then leave. Sam, you know the consequences now. I will shoot you and then leave.
This would be a murder on stream, guys. Murder most foul.
I'll become a panda. Eat shoots and leaves.
Dangerous animal in the world.
Think carefully about where to put the comma in that sentence.
Yeah. Topside, critical hex flash ball. A bit of a chunk on Dway. Who goes no Dway. And runs away.
Yep, I did Oh, I should have used that for the last game because he spider northed into a wall. It would have been no way home.
Oh, very good.
I
Yeah.
have used that on. I have used
that
that
is a
on
good
before. I've had where there's a will, there's a Dway. I've had that one.
That one's, yeah, I've done that one.
No Dway Jose. Oh,
I've
the
done-
Panunu combo from the Striker combo though.
The Panunu combo?
Yeah, Panunu is a player which really popularized putting the Q on the ground first after the Gragas changes in the early season.
That's the name of
So you charge up the Q on the floor, you hit with the cask into it.
Gotta hit him with it.
Okay, so grab stun.
FPX backing away for now. There is the Arcasol and the rocket jump down. Hair has yet to get first item here. It's all cold. Might be a bit risky, but they still think they found the combo, and it's not bad. Chris flashes forward to pulverize to buy some time, and arguably with that keeper's verdict afterwards does get a fair amount of value. The problem is they've not managed to claim a second grub or anything here. So they're down the member, and FPX will end up coming away with the extra kill. The problem is their health bars aren't fantastic. This might change things though. In comes the bullet time. That is absolutely phenomenal. Cream with the Empress of I bought a lot of time. Assume yes has got the curtain call, but only got some chunks. Jacking a little low here, and Kanavi forced to flash out. That evens the kill score, but the health bars aren't exactly fantastic for either team.
However, Crisp has just respawned, so he's actually back. And now what can happen is, if Chris can stop a recall, or even if he leeches enough XP off of mid lane to get level 6, I think it's a big problem. Catch up forwards there, that could, well, he does have flash, but that's a problem.
Buster shot.
Yeah, that should save his life, but he might have to use it.
Ref just walks at him menacingly. Longhorn Alistair. It's a rare variant, guys. You don't want to deal with that cow. And then they back away before some boss battle can start. 369 now on his infamous Gragas. Will do the thing where he attacks a few turret plates. No, of course, Shearer is actually laning very well here into the Gragas. Picked up a lot of farm. So potential Gwen win-con very much online. Hasn't pulled the door in and gone 0-4 so far. Man, that was rough to watch yesterday.
Well, yeah, it was a rough game, that one. Yeah, 369 choosing to lose the laning matchup for the potential to bop someone out of the play, I think really in late game team fights. Because the way I see this comp working is 369 throws a casket to the back line, hits one or both the AD carries, and top piece will then deal more damage once those AD carries are out of the play. I think if everyone is auto-attacking the same champion, I think that's FPX in late game do have more damage because they have the Gwen. Yeah, the Gwen and the Gragas.
Yeah.
However, Gragas cast means that it's very hard to actually sit and do the right damage.
I mean, between Poppy and Gragas and Alice, there's a lot of no you don't champions who can knock you away by various different means. Getting a melee range Gwen, even a Sejuani or a Rel, onto someone on a consistent basis to actually delay or deny things like Misfortune, it would be quite tricky because the Azir, right, if you're playing defensively, the Emperor's Divide can just say no, again, on a lot of these quite short-range champions. That will eventually change as Tristana gets more levels and stuff, and obviously Jhin, one of his play patterns is just to play from 3 screens away and press R, but you still have got a fair amount of tools here to potentially punish. The Emperor's Divide there got a little bit bugged out by the Spectator, but did actually manage to serve care away, so it's going to be alright. Keep a chunk though, and has just TP. Kanavi charging into the mid lane. And will run away a little bit faster than he needed to, perhaps. Shadow, mission here. Wondered whether there might be a bit of a trap to be played, but instead will turn towards the dragon.
Already used the ultimate, so it's pretty hard to really finalize anything there. FX has been very dragon-centric in this series so far. We do see a play towards mid lane, but 369 caught out.
Cast one away, but there's still the hollowed miss, and Sheer flashes for a quick cut and gets another kill. Important moment there as 369 trying to hold mid lane, ends up in a 1v2. He can't survive.
And the kill going to the Gwen is insult or injury too, because the Gragas needs to impact team fights, was trying to move towards the team fight, kill before he could get there, and gives the gold over to the person he's trying to avoid the 1v1 of. So the Gwen is now ahead significant amount of gold to go towards his top side, and maybe even with no teleports on the side of top pieces, get himself a plate potentially too. We'll see whether that comes through.
What's on the plate?
Is
it breakfast?
It's brickwork, it's rebar sticking out of concrete.
Oh, it's not turning out very good breakfast.
It is if you are like, I don't know, what things that eat that. I was trying to say Transformers, but I don't think they really eat that either, actually. The 329 gets Seaboard and Gragas Trap, of all things. Not Gragas, like a Jhin Trap, of all things, which Trap Trap, so it wasn't Trap. And then, of course, the Howled Miss means that he can't punt the Gwen away, so he has to eat that combo. Nice combo, nice ult there. Onto a scene to win the mid lane battle. Gets his barrier out.
Does indeed, and Assume caught at 10% HP, not having a great amount of fun there. A lot of damage going on through. That Deadly Flourish went nowhere, and the observers were a little perplexed, as are the rest of us. We'll note that FPX has now secured the dragons that are on second dragon. That wasn't claimed by Torpedo. However, Cream has just begun to yell orders at this turret topside, saying something about Shurima has arisen when he's knocking down other structures, which feels very antithetical.
The order is given. I claim this land in the name of Shurima. Jackalope combo well onto a super form, but goes down in the mid lane. Shadow finds an easy play onto him. Jackalope doesn't even flash.
Yep. Optic Assault. And Misfortune will have to file a complaint this way. I think just fail flashed into a wall.
Was it a hex flash?
No, it is just turned into
Oh, that's not very good.
I think he was trying to catch Creamy as he was leaving and wasn't quite in range. The timing was the time to flash, but the distance was not. So took the risk in a distance.
Yeah, that's a flash full time step. Yeah, you know.
There you go, there's the picture-in-picture.
I think a lot of people don't realize how influential Flash Gordon was. You know the title crawl at the beginning of Star Wars, those in chat? Obviously you know, so.
I do.
Whatever. That came from Flash Gordon.
I didn't know that bit, though.
That was a Flash Gordon thing, actually. For Star Wars, like, you know, blah, blah, blah about A New Hope. And...
Do you know what the origin of that kind of thing is from, though?
No.
So it's the choruses from Greek plays.
Oh, really?
The opening sections are basically the chorus of music, setting the scene for you. That's what it basically is. So if you read something like Dr. Faustus, a lot of the old Elizabethan and Jacobean plays, they will all have a very similar concept. On Romeo and Juliet, the beginning of it is two houses alike.
The opening monologue.
Exactly. Yep. They are all from that. And obviously you have it in things like the Odyssey, you have it in things like the Iliad. So there you go. I sing of arms and of the man. Probably the original Star Wars opening crawl.
Very cool. But the actual text scrolling bit, that's from Flash Gordon. Hang on, 369 jumps in and finds a shadow waiting in the brush. Damn, God, you wish it was Sonic as well.
Well, he gets Knuckles to the face at the very least, so part of the trio is around and available. And should have turned tail and run, couldn't quite get it. And Sheer gets another kill, another amount of time on this turret. Cream with the 3 grubs, though, she'll probably get first turret regardless here.
Yeah, Cream with the Rouge buff, definitely helping that
I hate them so much.
It's about as good as I can think of in terms of the remaining Sonic characters.
I've said how intelligent you are with all these puns, like an Eggman of sorts. That's really a real egghead. Got it.
Jim Carrey, this is how wanted towards the bus side. As Cream will clean up that wave there. Go knows that there's no needlework on Sheer now. Maybe he fancies the 1v1.
Gets the Emperor's Divide. A lot of damage shoves him away from the turret. Slide over the wall. Where is support coming? Not there right now. Sheer's still buying start, but there's 4 soldiers sent on top of him. And Sheer is run down by weight of sand numbers.
Really well played from Cream, realizing that, hey, without the needlework, I can actually win the 1v1. Also knowing that his soldiers apply red buff too, so he has easier application to slow down that Gwent. I was thinking maybe there was a chance at a cancel teleport, or rather a teleport out, but there was no when there was no ultimate from Cream, but he just thought, I can't survive that amount of damage. Cream, well played from him. Gonna get 2 outer turrets in about 2 minutes, and a kill on top of that. There's a ton of gold over to his ear.
And that's with the Cull having just cashed in from the Tristana. That should have narrowed the gold lead. It has not. There is now a 20 CS lead, 2 turrets and a couple kills over towards his ear, putting him 1,600 gold ahead. Yes, this Gwen is scary, but dying like that, not getting that turret, does delay that snowball somewhat. Which Top Esports, despite a few fumbled plays over the last 5 minutes or so, ahead in gold by a fairly healthy margin. The difficulty, of course, will still be that FPX, they get the early kills, have gotten the majority of the early objectives, including the Herald that we just saw. So they've got the feats of strength. They can still look to play through this mid-late stages of the game to a pretty healthy advantage themselves, if they can get themselves rolling around the next dragon and stuff.
Yeah, so FPX have tried to go for a soul point win con every single game so far. They rolled Hex Deck and they got it in like 16.5 minutes or something like that in the first game. Absolutely ridiculous how quickly they managed to get soul points in game 1. Game 2, the only thing stopping it was Navi Dragon Steel. The combo with the Phase Rush. Still eats a Q on the back end, which is a little bit nasty. But yeah, feels like FPX, they've said, right, dragons are the way we play the game right now, and largely they've been getting good value out of it.
Now they have 30 seconds or so until Dragon number 3 spawns to see whether they can continue that streak. They have managed to claim the last 2, as we were noting. And they can look to menace around this blue buff. Ray and Shadow were around. Jackie Love also now coming on down. Is building towards that second item, Infinity Edge, on pretty rapid order. Actually will be an essence if I saw the core field. I apologise to the Bishop. Won't necessarily happen right now. Is Jackie gets an auto off. Continues to poke down Shadow.
Dragon in 10 seconds now as Top Esports. If they can call Gragas to the play, Well, both top laners have teleport. 369 could actually just look to say, look, I can cancel the teleport, you can't. But instead, no, he is dropping off that wave. Herald now, somebody will take mid lane turret. FPX will claim the structure. Toppies will start the dragon.
Towards the dragon they go. They pick up that way. Try and find a moment of Crystal, will make his will unbreakable. Keeper's verdict comes on down, sends someone off the gel for a moment or two. A combo onto Dwayne, who tries to turn it around, saying, I'll go full contact. Does interrupt the bullet time, but still dies for it. Care has to back away. Soldiers fly forward. Cream flashes the Glacial Prison. Knock up onto Shadow, has to flash away himself. Kanavi body blocking on the other side as 369 has forced to cast Sheer. Shadow down to 10%. Assume Sheer Care back out alive, but a man advantage kill to Top Esports, who also got the dragon.
So it's a kill and a dragon's top esports, but they do still lose that mid lane out of time, which is an important strategic structure to keep track of. Top esports will consider themselves, I think, still the victors in this scenario, despite the fact that they have Azir. They stop the soul point, Chef X,
right?
Yeah, you know, I gotta throw one out of there. To keep you on your toes, Seb. Keep you on your toes. 369, holding up a really dangerous position here to say, look, if you open up and try and do some damage, I can punt you out of play, just like this. Because Dre's not there, rather, Assume's not there for the fourth shot, he can't really pull up that easily. He has to pull up the ultimate very quickly, but everyone's full HP, and Jinol is due to execute damage at this moment, so doesn't get that much value there. But FPX struggle to find their battle lines after that cast comes through.
Yeah, you know, Victor might have been a bit more modest, a bit more demure, you know, like Jace, you know, in the mid lane.
Is that going to be like chased?
Yes, it is, exactly.
Isn't it chast?
No, I think it's chased.
I thought it was chast.
No, it's chased.
For the purpose of your pun, it can remain chased.
It's chastened? Actually, is it chastened? Oh no. Oh no, I'm having a moment.
You're allowed one of them per stream, Sam. This is your one moment. I hope you enjoy. You can have a moment as a treat.
I'm kind of stressed. Oh. All right, well, moving on before I sort of sit there and get very, very confused.
This is what you get from us here. Oh, by the way, Cream has gone for the Rylai second. It's been much more common on this patch than the last one from Azir. Ever since Leandri's was cut down a little bit, the Rylai gives you good functionality whilst retaining just better stats bluntly. So the HP and the AP actually help, and that's slow helping keeping pin people into the play here too. So Cream, almost a 2,000 goldie, 1.5k up right now. Yeah, he's starting to really bully out the Tristana matchup. Typically, there you'd like to see the Tristana jumping off to it. He just doesn't have the stats to do that right now. Blue buff not stolen away.
Shadow good enough for the smite now. Salts forward as the steadfast presence runs away. Kanavi now hit by the full combo. Bullet time is fantastic! Especially as Chris lands a phenomenal headbutt. Pulverize, Shadow low, not quite down. Care is now turned up. Kanavi will at least go 1-for-1 here. Buys a lot of time before he goes down. Deadly Burst now coming on down. Cream TP'd in, but they're still buying time. Chris has been a menace this fight. They finally bring down the Alistair, but what should have been a set of picks for FPX ends up being a 3-for-2 in Top Esports' favor.
Kanavi ends up surviving a lot longer than FPX are prepared for, and they cannot turn the damage around. Mid lane out of turret will go down in the favor of Top Esports now. They'll keep some members around with their 3 grubs, potentially take a second turret.
Zoom has to reset the other thing is Care and Zoom are left on half HP and can't stand and defend against the full might of Top Esports damage dealers. If I look at this replay again, because it was a close run thing in a lot of ways.
So they get the Sejuani passive onto the Poppy after the Jin W comes through. Pocket again with the Sejuani ultimate, but it's not onto the MF. Jackalop finds himself in a great position to combo up on top of Chris big cooldown. Shea thinks, okay, I've got to jump in now, but a lot of people have ended up stepping backwards out of the bullet time, so Shea's left alone in the front line, and also because of that step back, it means that Kanavi isn't getting DPS too. FPX going to lose sight of who they want to be dealing damage to, and they end up just falling behind the damage curve. At least they get one back at the back end of this from Care.
Buster shot there was very important. I think he had the bomb on top of Cream. Buster shot the bomb on top of Chris to get the kill. So
that's fantastic.
In fairness, nice combo there from Care to at least get something that back. Because that could have been a 3-for-1 very easily.
Especially with the Buster shot hang on wall stun, no flash on Shadow.
He is trapped within the steadfast presence. His headbutt and pulverize. He needs to try and get over the wall. Can't find a good tick assault though. It's been interrupted. Gwen can at least get the turret. The Magnustorm now coming on down. Care also walking on in. Needs to back away. I think that bomb kills Chris. No real way around it. Going to try and step forwards regardless. Care has to flash away, but the bullet time finishes it off. The curtains are cold. Kanavi trying to buy some time. Sheer on the back end here. Looking for potential flank angle. Kanavi did get hit by that fourth shot. Got a bit dicey. 369 will throw a barrel roll out. Somewhere out there, someone in the audience is yelling, do a barrel roll! I know I am. Now cheer with some scissors running with them. The teacher should have told him better. We'll back away. Blast cones out to safety with a dose of monster, and we'll head on towards the outer car. Will Toppies.
Well, that ain't Falcon, but it is a one all the same. Top Esports starting the Atacana. Sheer on the flank. I don't think they have any chance to contest this. Sheer was just trying to see if there was any vision you could get there one or two wards. Top Esports have been executing much better in the team fights. So much better in the team fights. Despite the multi-man combos, punch away a couple of times back to back. FPX's damage is just not in the right place at the right time. I'd imagine we will see a replay of that, so I won't just play the fight again without the...
He's learning, people.
I'm really trying, you know. Sometimes I'm like, what? So the cardinal sin of casting is a play happens. The play-by-play shouts what's happening on the screen. Then the person comes in after and says, wow, that thing just happened, and then just shouts it again. And then the replay comes in and says, look at this thing we just talked about twice already. So you had to talk about the same thing 3 times over. An auspicious number, to say the least, but not necessarily something you want to hear that much. Cream is caught under the strat, and I think, well, you have to talk about this one once. He might just be dead here.
Ooh, tried to go for care. I don't blame him looking for the attempt. Flashes away still under that Sunders. Is buying quite a lot of time. Didn't get a chance to play the arm guard, though, so we'll end up dying. Dragon taken on the other side. Cream looks to use all his outplay buttons and can't get to the third one. Inauspicious number 2.
I think Cream was a little bit baited in by the fact that he had Sundisk and he had the secret. Normally you say, I'm safe, I'm self-sufficient at that point, but no one's roaming to his side of the map. And because of that, they'll take a quick kill. Jway in enemy territory.
Well, this is a person I had a lot of faith in, Jway, and unfortunately for him, he's gone quite deep. He does have members around now, but he's a little split off from them. Wasn't expecting the rotation post the Dragon, you have to imagine. Now Shadow knocked up. Crisp also blows his unbreakable will, which somehow makes his body unbreakable too, which is, you know, a really good combo. Mind over matter and all that.
On the other side, 369, no teleport, still able to push in towards that bot lane in a turret. Top East was, on the whole, better macro so far this game. They've been able to get towards those turrets a little quicker.
Polo. Macro.
Prolo. You've heard of Marco Polo. Now get rid of for Macro Prolo.
Macro Pro. And it's just like, you gotta like, but the difference, actually I really want, you need proximity chat for this. But you basically do it, and then you have to like far sight alteration where you think someone is hiding. That's fantastic. Macro Prolo. He was an explorer, wasn't he?
I think so.
I don't think he was a particularly good man, but...
Sam, most people who went traveling the world in like the 16, 17, 1800s were not particularly good people, so...
But there we go.
It was, yeah.
The past is a different play, is a foreign country. They do things differently there. That's the one, isn't it? Jway, walk over the wall. Oh my god, come back again.
Could you imagine like a returning piece on the LEC where you do have like Macro Prolo who like explains newfound concepts across the world? Probably is a little bit too culturally insensitive, but I would find it quite funny.
I just want to play Macro Prolo. Macro Prolo.
These are the things we talk about when the game starts to slow down. Let's be honest, folks. It's the LSism. It's the 5 minutes of doom where Dragon timer is down. There's less to fight on the map. In fairness, in LPL, we find more reasons to fight than most.
Someone looking at you funny on the screen most of the time.
Yeah. What do you think you're looking at?
Yeah. Gonna sanctify some ground, huh? What are you gonna do about that? Bury your dead?
Bring out your dead.
I'm not dead yet.
We will be in a minute.
No one who's not watched any Monty Python will get this reference.
You know, like, if there are those of you who've not seen Monty Python the Holy Grail, this is your chance to go see it then. Because Copies will so bravely ran away.
So not appearing in this film will be Jway, who's knocked away by the keeper's verdict. Shadow, forced to run away as he's hit by the slows of the Ryalize. In the end, not all that much happens there.
Sadly, the animator died midway through this fight, which means the fight will continue anyway.
Dracula forced a bullet time. In the end, still has to flash out to safety. Shadow backs away himself, also down his flash. Well, it might be it coming up. No, it is in fact gone down and baited once again by the LPL spectator bugs.
With a lot of engaged cooldowns used by FPX, Top Ears was out. Yes, we lost the bullet time, but you don't have your Sejuani or your Rel ultimates. Come find us now without your engaged tools.
Ah, look who was waiting. It's 369. Can't find the cask exactly that he was looking for. Between now and 20% HP. Sheer lost a third of his own HP bar. Flash body slam. Forces Sheer to flash in trade. Kanavi now potentially in danger. The needles begin to fly. They are weapons of warfare. Crisp again with the phenomenal headbutt pulverize. He's been all over them this game. Will end up being a 1-for-1 of the supports. Looking for some more damage. Shadow in danger. Arctic assaulting away. Care. Also Rocket Jump Beyond not quite dead. 369 looking for a barrel roll. Will force a flash as well. Very scary at this point on the Gragas. But on the captive audience courtesy of the deadly flourish. Won't find any more. Health bars desperately low from FPX, but they do disengage.
Ends up being a 1-for-1, but we saw a good blueprint there from Top Esports saying, okay, if you don't have a way to stop Top Esports sitting with Sand Soldiers in front of them, the game's pretty unplayable. They have themselves some big engage tools like the Rel combo and the Sejuani, but if they're down, Top Esports can just bully around the map. Top Esports are a team which are very, very good at taking a missing cooldown from you and making a big play out of it. They don't have themselves the Rel ultimate, they don't have themselves the Sejuani ultimate, so they can say, right, let's try and get some damage now. Now, it's not the perfect engage with 369. Let's get a decent combo here to get some damage, trade flash to flash with Sheer. But the reason they can play like this is that there is no big engage tool, which means they can keep trying again and again to try and pick off these. Now, it doesn't completely work out. Good interruption on the Rel crash down there. As Cream does get busted shot out of the play for reasons beyond me, actually.
Just across the wall, but I think if he'd been there, imagine a few more Sand Soldiers here. Look at those health bars. I think at this point that would have been 2, possibly more people dead, especially with the Rhyolite closing. That is a very, very scary Azir. There's no death cap or anything between the Rhyolites and now this Void Staff, Lighting, apologize, not the full Void Staff, is going to be doing a lot of work, especially at level 16. Yes, you've got 2.5 items on the Tristan, you've got 3 on the Jhin. You are starting to get there in terms of damage. You mentioned the Gwen, right, who would love level 16, but is certainly not a slouch in the damage department right now. You maybe have some tools. It's just not easy to get through all the CC, all the displacement.
Credit to Care, by the way, was... Oh, Dragon's going to go down here. It'll be Soul Point towards the Top Esports. On the other side, FPX maybe start up with Baron, saying, okay, you're on Dragon, let's go towards Baron. Secretary does have teleport, though, to make himself up towards the top side of the map in good haste. 369 checking out some brushes in the keeps.
You're about to say the mid lane diff has managed to shrink a little bit, courtesy of good side.
Oh!
But that is a keeper
Kanavi!
Kanavi pairs up with 369 and everyone in the pit is evicted, courtesy of the top jungle. Now they have to run away. They've lost a member, they've lost the Baron, and Top Esports get everything on the map.
Oh, it's a sudden scene change, isn't it? Kanavi just says, and now for something completely different, punts him out of the pit, and the script changes. The script completely changes. Kanavi just earned himself his 2nd regular season MVP. His last one was in 2020 on Top Esports when he was there. Oh, sorry, on JDG. He was last there. Kanavi, I mean, what more can you say about it? Game-changing play.
That is just fantastic, and I think there has been a discussion around some of the community that people have been really undervaluing Poppy as a power pick. You know what? I think they may have a point. It's been so damn strong. At least here, the 1-for-1 occurs as Care gets to jump forwards. 369, though, will body slam over the wall, force Care to rocket jump away, and leaves the inhibitor out to dry. All the while, of course, they lost Shadow as well. Jackie Love guns them down. Towards the next turret they go in a 4v3. In goes Cream, and it's the crop he finds. Care dead for 50 seconds. Assume, well, you know what they say, when you make an assumption, it makes an ass out of you. And at least this game, Top Esports find themselves a final team fight. And the Nexus is theirs. They move to series point.
FPX started the series strong with a 27-minute victory over Top Esports. Second game, a little harder, and this one was a wash. Now they find themselves against the ropes. This is a
Shadow is nasty as hell. That could even be a Diana mid lane for Care into the Ahri. You have a lot of room to chase Ahri down, particularly early. If you can land your Q, you can jump towards her, force the back away with the ult. You need to be wary of the charms. You need to be very wary of the charms because you can get interrupted mid-Lunar Rush. Okay, I've not seen that in a while. I'm assuming this Viego's going to get switched out of mid lane. But I'm just going to hold here. Because currently that's Diana mid. Oh, sorry, Diana jungle, Viego mid. That's not swapped, guys. Guy has played Diana as an Ahri counter for a while. Lichbane first is better as well. Yeah, so you can just do Lichbane into it.
欢迎来到英雄联盟。敌军还有30秒到达战场，免速。
All I have crowdsourced my wisdom. Folks, Jamada and Nymaera have given me their thoughts, and basically, this is the conclusion that we have come to. Viego's going to play a little bit like a Silas or an Akali. There will be the Door and Shield as expected. We're imagining second wind as well. There have been some changes to Viego, which basically allow him to get more healing off minions as a on his Q passive. You're looking at basically just sustain through stuff. We've got a contact. Level 1 away on the Braum. Healed up by the Piercing Darkness. Looking for the Q. Forced the flash early on Crisp. Nice re-invade from FPX. Might want to start on these Raptors. They're going to try and continue. Onto the red buff they go. Everyone is here, but 369 on the Aatrox. 5v4 in favor of FPX. Cream now threatening and started with the Orb of Destruction, looking for an angle. In goes Kanavi, wins the red buff, has to flash. Level 2, heal comes on down. Jackie forced to flash. Over the wall they go. Onto Jackie, who's got Braum passive. Kill donated to Care, surely here. And first blood goes the way of FPX. 3 flashes blown. Care and Shadow also forced to flash. Kanavi at least gets the red buff. But you can immediately see where Shadow's rolling, and it's over towards the enemy jungle. We'll be starting, I imagine, with that E second to have a little bit of a faster clear speed. Will be, in fairness, a little bit squishier and take a bit more damage as a result. Wild start to the game. The last time we saw Viego mid was Knight versus WE. Back when he was on top esports, early Spectral Moore at the level 2. Gets a nice chunk there onto Cream. Kanavi looking for a wrap around mid. Care's now in danger but doesn't have flash. Spectral Moore's away. Flash for the charm. Great kill as Kanavi just gets to walk on through. Managed to jump across the Dragon Pit wall, I think. Shadow didn't actually manage to steal away the red buff. I think was expecting the roam over. Doesn't. Creative pathing from Kanavi. Punishes Care there on the shove. Brings the goal back over to top esports. Save a little note from Castle, which I completely agree. Why the hell would you want to fight Viego Braum as a combo at level 1? Yeah, good question, that. Alright, Shadow picks up a Scuttle Crab. Going to try and get some respawn of his own camps. And maybe fight over this bot side Scuttle Crab. I don't think it's going to be quite there in time. Kanavi will have the smite, so does it. Shadow sees what's going on. Lands the Crescent Strike. 369 trading well here with Sheer. He does get out of the umbral chains. Kanavi's doing it again. It's the same path. Charm lands. Care will go into the harrowed path. But where do you run to? Kanavi will have the Warrior Trickster and the Nimbus Strike. Care, a bit of speed up available courtesy of the Speed Shrine, so should be alright. Gets out to safety. Wave's going to be crashing here. That Care is not around to collect, though. And a reset comes on through from Creep. We'll have an early Dark Seal. Knows with business here. Okay. That's 2 minions missed. Dodges away from one of those. He's actually missed a lot of that farm. That's very annoying. He'll be down about 10 CS now as a result. Ooh, Foxfire Poke. Very annoying. Second wind is a thing, though. It's Crisp finding an opportune ward. That bush and gank angle from the Wukong. Been very annoying the last few minutes. Hop over the back of Dragon Pit, bro. Definitely not warded, bro. The answer is it will come. Now in danger. Gank topside. Flame Spitter and Electro Harpoon brings him down. Flash for flash. Good value there from Shadow on that Diana. Early Hextech Alternator. Looks like he's building towards Be something like the Lich Bane early. Well, might be a Shadow Flame. Not Shadow Flame. Should be, but I doubt it. Dragon picked up by Kanavi. Mid lane, Care doing his best to chunk out, but this is not looking pretty. Down 20 odds. Yes, Cream has been manhandling this after the 2 ganks mid. Looked like this Viego might be off to a really good start, and now it's gone horribly wrong. Doing his best to be valuable here, but I think as long as Cream has to keep ordering, gets trickier. Shadow gets rooted up by the renewals the regular W. No, the unpowered W with the mantra. I can never remember the base form W. I always have to go look it up. It's Inspire is basey, Defiance is empowered. What is base W? It'll come to me at some point. Either way, plate claim bot side. On the bot side map in general, the Senna and the Viego dropping a lot of farm here. Half the farm on the Viego. Yeesh. Okay, well there goes the engage. Moon falls down and they flash on forward, trying to get the kill with Kanavi and gets it. Body secure, piercing darkness down at FPX. The gang squad works out. Nice work. Shadow on this Diana. Now involved in all the kills. Continuing to be a bit of a menace here. Bot side, Jackie claims a plate or two. Sheer will TP down, look to clear up this wave. Grubs, though, will be picked up. from Sheer to walk along it. Gets the shield and they don't follow too deep. And the turnaround comes on through. They lose one short. They get 369. They get Knavi. They get Cream. Diana is very scary. The Viego's actually with the gold lead now. Yeah, that's annoying. Blade of the Ruin King early here as well. Very apt, really. Thematically appropriate. Sheer. Oh, Scrap Shield and look to chase. In comes another Flame Spitter. Oh, the heat damage getting very strong there. Care. Oh, he's in the danger zone. Not quite overheated. This 369 at half HP has got a flash. 3 seconds on the World Ender. Flash after with the Moonfall. Having Luna rush towards him. Another kill picked up. No chance. Shadow's got the most gold in the game. A little problematic. Wait, blocks a lot of autos, puts up the door. He's actually now potentially in a spot of bother, but there's a piercing darkness behind him. True shot barrage will catch Assume. But Assume's now got the static shiv alongside this Phage, so wave clear a lot easier now from the center than it was earlier on. Is LEC also 25.11? I don't think so, but I don't actually know. They might well be, you know. I think this is like, we'll see what the decision is. We've already had some playoffs game plagued though for the LEC though, which often means that for various reasons, mostly involving competitive integrity, they tried to ensure that everyone's played every stage of a club tournament or playoffs at the on the same patch. There's no discrepancy there. Can sometimes change between stages. Like, okay, we've done all the quarterfinals, right, now we can change. But if FPX wins, the winner of IG BLG plays FPX, which is the free ticket to MSI. Ooh, that's a bold call. I know what you mean. But because you FPX were not even favored to make it to Ascension, to be here in playoffs and potentially forcing top esports, the split one winners, MVP Knavi to game 5. Yeah, not bad, guys. Not bad at all. Solid rise from the ashes from the Phoenixes. True-shot barrage will trim the minions. Cream, wonderful flash off. Brings Assume down. In goes Knavi as well, ult away from Care. But now he doesn't have a Heartbreaker. He's going to die as well. No defenses. 369 begin to punish as FPX need to back away. Cream refusing to lose this game. Nice combo from him. Sets up for a couple kills. All the while, Sheer, at least in mid lane, gets a decent chunk there on that mid tier. Once you be able to pick it up. The gold lead back to even now as a result of those plays. What do you know? Kanavi and Cream have a gold lead. How's that fair? Catch-up XP. Most hated mechanic in jungle. Shadow. Does have Flash and Rocket Belt and Azonia's. Can be really annoying right now. This is a really nice angle from Cream. Ult, Charm Flash. Oh, super. Nothing for Assume to do there. Got just over the minions. And Kea gets laughed out in Monkey. And Wukong goes woo, and brings down Viego as well. The Ruin King. Eat Monkey King. Goku wins those. Okay. Dragon's beginning to get started. Shadow starting up, cycling through that passive. Moon Silver Blade, always been good at those objectives. Turn around! Shadow! Beautiful engage onto Jackie Love. Gets the permafrost on top of it. Zonya's in. Jackie will die. Trying to turn it around, but they've gone too deep. Finally a proactive play again. Queen desperately trying to find some moments of 369. Has got that passive from the Hexwinger not working out. Now Queen needs to run away. As does Chris, but there's a Heartbreaker, a Piercing Darkness, and a triple kill for Assume. Oh, Shadow. Yeah, you died, but your work there is well and truly done. 4 for 2, and the dragon is theirs as well. Let's get a replay on that, because that is what you want out of your Dianas. Is Diana scaling okay? Yeah, she scales pretty well. She scales pretty well. So lands this, Flash R, Rocket Bell to keep it on top of Jackie Love. Yeah, QER Flash. Nice. Really good backline access. Well, well, well. Cream eats the Electro Harpoon, and Sheer really hurts now with the double masks. Cream has been trying, hasn't he? Good moment. Problem is the rest of the team is struggling. Cream going to be forced to ult Shadow, Rocket Belt. Crystal throw an Empowered Shield out with the Moonstone on top. Should be alright. Spire required, but it's alright. In comes the Herald charge. We'll get a tier 2 on in. There's a third of this inner turret. Crispers around. So is the rest of top esports on the whole. Jackie's left mid. You get that route there with the tether. I think we might be done for now. 3 minutes until Dragon. It would be a Hex Soul point for FPX. And that would be scary, wouldn't it? Black Cleaver's done for the center now as well. This is the build we've seen a lot of. Center stacks up Black Cleaver very, very fast. And the Static Shiv gives the wave clip. Focused Resolve. That's the one. It was something resolving. Couldn't remember the first word. That's Karma W base. FPX step into the jungle again. Shadow. With that Zonya's completed, it's such a problem. Credit to Kadavi for at least staying close here on the Wukong. Both junglers farming well. There goes bot side pressure. FPX junking best they can. Crest now in danger. Backing away. That's a calm. Chunked out, doing its best. Cream on a potentially really dangerous flank angle. Great charm. The Diana's down. Dawning Shadow too late. Cream, that might just win you the game. Certainly going to get you Atakan. Charm onto the Rumble. In comes 369 with the part 3, but now the turnaround comes on through. He's just not tanky. Konami will secure the Atakan, dies for it. Resets now beginning to come on through. Cream lands another charm. And despite losing their jungle early, Top Esports still end up losing 2. Hopping on forwards. The range advantage, though, is scary. Braum now down. Sheer in danger. Had to back off that Mantra Q. The Soul Flare valuable. But the Flame Spitter! Care gets another body. Jackie needs to try and get a 2-shot barrage. Can't get a Zoom. Who just outrages him? And Care picks up another body. What is it? 3 for 4 in the end. Probably okay for Top Esports. Blade and Sundered Sky for Care gives him so much sustain now. Means they can't rush Dragon at least. Respawns are coming on through. We might go again because Soul Point for FPX is a win con. Watch Cream here on this flank. Really great angle. Gets behind the Braum shield. Charm, Q, dead. Jackie Love is the one who donates it. Gets it rather. They turn to the Atakan and they'll pick it up, but FPX are not going to be giving that one up willingly. The Equalizer forces Konami to back off a little there. And 369's just not tanky. He's just not. The Braum is doing him in. Care gets first resets. Another charm from Cream. And they go, okay, we can probably play this. The health bars are really low. They kind of go 2 for 2 at the end of this. The charm does help pick up Dway, but then 369 steps on is already dead, right? And they can try to play it out the back end of it all, but still very scary as that Rumble. Crescent Strike lands on Dragon Shadow, trying to threaten on this frontline. Care on a flank angle. Will spot 369. Cream also coming across, going in with the Hex Gates. Care just out of range of the charm. Will Spectral more away. Harrow path down as well. Double control wall, 369 in the back of the Dragon pit. Lands that one, steals the Dragon to Shadow, looks to get on the backside. Can't quite get all the value he was hoping for. Still has the Moonfall, goes gold. Picked up Konami. Soul Point secured as well. 369 is split off. Heartbreaker comes on down, forces the flash. Jackie, though, doing a lot of work from range. Hit by the Electro Harpoons, has to be a bit wary. But I think Soul Point is a worthy enough trade. Alongside that kill, FPX happy. FPX now with a solid win condition. I don't blame them for having that statistical advantage. Soul Point, Fed members, yeah, that'll do. These fights look impossible to play for TES. They are playable once Care doesn't have a body to steal. And Moonfall and... that's a dead Dway. Nice pick. And the Moonfall's out of the picture because you've still got range, you've still got pick from Top Esports. That in extended fights is fine. That is an important pick though. Dway's having a really good game. Hang on, Shadow threatening Cream here. Steps on forward, doesn't press the R button. Holding on to it. Now can look forward. Konami forced to flash. In comes the Zoom, lands the last embrace. Flash away from Konami, Cream lands the charm. Shadow down about 20% HP. Another tether comes on through, the focus resolved. Care forced to flash, as is Shadow, I apologize. Care with the ult. I heard the flash buffer. Same time as the R button was pressed, so ults and flashes blown. It's Top Esports in charge of that top side of the map. Morning Shadow just wide, just the shield that catches Cream. Nice look at an attempt there from Asum, who's quietly now at 5-1 and 7. This Senna will be a problem. Hasn't farmed that well on the souls. The 95 is no mean streak. Get to the 100 breakpoint. That's another range increase, and things get trickier again. 3 items completed at least.
不动摇。
Baron is well and truly claimed right now by FPX. Hello, Ruby. Good to see you. Maybe a stressful day for you. Oh, Cream, another good flank angle. Forces the flash off Assume. Who shoots his Baron? It means nothing. Kanavi gets 2. Go look for another. Ult in, ult back out. 369 looking the on-ball 10. Can't quite drag Shadow back, but I appreciate the look in. 40, 0, 1, and 10. Cream has been really, really trying on this Ari. Keeping top esports in this game single-handedly. Forwards though, nonetheless. Still got to be aware that Shadow with the ult is a terror right now on this Diana. Care, still got the Heartbreaker. The combo is there, but missing the bot lane. It's scary.
So dangerous to be pumping up. Flash forward from Fred.
Does his best. Hello, Nymaera. Coming on in to see exactly how things are looking. Shadow goes gone. Oh, finds a moonfall. Gets the Inspire down. Quick touching his best to stay alive. Does so. Jackie picks the kill. The follow-up just wasn't there. No Tony Shadow, according to the Zoom, was dead. They pick up the solo laners. And top esports will surely have Baron now. Just in time for that Hextech Dragon to spawn as well. Minute and a half on that objective. 2-shot barrage, might just ping one, won't quite. Gets the wave. Top esports, Baron, reset, run to Dragon. Potentially just shove waves and say, okay, we won't leave you any chance to set up the Dragon. Have a look again. But Cream, again with the flank angle, forces Assume to flash, but it leaves Dway out to dry. Charm hits him instead, and Assume dies anyway. Flash barrier means nothing. Dawning Shadow. Yeah, well, it looks like midnight to me, doesn't it? Bot lane dead. 3v5, and FPX panic. Try to find a way to fight anyway. Shadow caught by Chris with the tether, goes looking for a potential engage. The equalizer, fantastic, honestly. There from shit. With no real follow-up, the moonfall means very little. Another charm. Did Cream miss one that fight? There's the Medjai's in as well. I do not blame him. He is feeling it. Horizon Focus and Malignance. It's all about landing the charms today. Lots of move speed now for Cream as well. Between that and the upgraded boots. The Medjai's, that is. Very challenging to manage here. In terms of just for spacing. Gotta track the Ari flanks, completely agree. Feels like every fight the top esports have won has been on Cream having an absolutely Herculean flank. Dragon was secured by top esports Volta, nice soul. Soon picks up a load of those Raptor souls. Oh, 104 souls. And again, the scaling is scary for FPX. Viego scales well, particularly from their solo lane position. Diana, also not exactly a slouch in scaling. As well with farm and levels. Quite a level 16 for that increased moonfall. So the Lunar Rush forwards doesn't threaten too much more. Goes for another Q. Doesn't find it. Dracula hit with the last embrace. No one now. We'll be offering him a hug for a little while. Sorry about that. Senna said so. Tier 2. Claimed by Cream. Suddenly the gold begins to balloon fully for the first time here. Top esports now up 3,000 gold. Beginning to turn the screws. Jackie empowered to step forwards with that Karma behind him. He's landing a lot of good poke here! Into the backline! Shadow can't quite get everything he was looking for. Valiant effort, but now Dwayne kind of split off a little. Charms go on forwards. Hang on! How did Cream die? They get the kills regardless, though, because Kanavi in the backline throws out a Cyclone, and they're all swept up by the winds of war. Kanavi will happily take the backline out. Sure, the book is gone, but Cream, the work is done. Yeah, Tim, rebuy that. Your game is over. Don't you dare sell the Medjai's. You've stolen the heart out of FPX this game. And it looked so good. But the Viego mid, the Diana, it's not enough. And Top Esports will in the end dispatch FunPlus Phoenix despite their valiant...
Leo Galliwalt in that semi-finals, the quarterfinals against HLE as well.
There we go. Well, there's some more CC now between the Pantheon, the Leona, the Jhin. You've got a very nasty mid-game wombo combo from Victus Gaming. A lot of global threat with the Pantheon plus the long-range ults on things like that Jhin and Rumble. So BLG will need to respond to that. But of course, they've got globals of their own. The Galio can come to defend. I think some of these knife fights early are going to get really messy.
My big worry is there are immobile carries in this game, and they're all on IG.
Yeah.
This is going to be a scrappy game. There's going to be a lot of follow-up. Knight is tankier, can throw that ult on top of someone. El can hop out of a play. Beatron can stop some of those dashes coming through, and Bin can also skip out of plays as well. If IG get caught, they have no such protection on the same side. So, in a series which I think should be very scrappy, should be very high blood, with some very big emphasis on individual plays, I think BLG have got better self-peel tools, and that makes all the difference in this kind of matchup.
Agreed. I think the other side of that force is if you don't get snowballing, damage is a little bit... But there is the rift. Bet will have some beautiful chanting to take over. That is a very full audience. Oh my days. Look at the picture-in-picture. Everyone's turned up for this matchup, and you can't blame them.
IG, whenever they're playing, tickets sell out almost immediately now. The fact that BLG are playing too with, a World's finals appearance and an MSI finals appearance, a team which has been very dominant in the recent years. Of course, hang on a second, Elk walking up and getting stunned there. That's not great, actually. Guess someone has to go up for fair check. Does he have time to go back and to get himself a recall and some HP? I don't think he will, actually. So Elk in a bit of an annoying spot. Is going towards Halo Blades, worth noting.
Oh, yeah.
This might be Lethality Callista. I don't know if I like that.
As the Halo Blades into rank, gets those 3 quick autos and gets a decent chunk. Mako forced to burn a pot early. I do get it in the sense that you're trying to manage a lot of very scary snap engage and being close range and trying to auto-hop around a Pantheon.
Yeah.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever get in range of the damage of IG when they are very long range, then you can't hop around in short range that easy. But still a little bit worried. Now, there aren't that... Well, there is no tank on the side of IG unless Mako gets very far ahead, but if this is Lethality Callista, you need to see a snowball. Now, we kind of knew that anyway, but BLG, if they don't get an early lead now, if IG lane well, if they skirmish well early, that could be so game-changing.
Keep our eyes on it. On this, Nico as well has been such a menace, I think. For a guy we had a lot of criticism of in winter, he's had a very good spring split.
He has. I think On has been, clearly for me, the second best player on BLG, which is not a detriment when you say that Knight's on your team. That guy's absolutely insane. Levels the clone up level 2, and Jed is spotted going towards bot side. They had a ward on Raptors on top side. They knew he was somewhere. This just stops them from getting a surprise gank in bot side, which, in fairness, is something that Elkanon sometimes fall prey to. It's good information for them.
Nice work on that one there is the stats for the split. 1-1 is Knight on this Galio. There was a moment, shall we say, when Beatron first joined the team, and the Galio got really fed and then went a little deep on an AP Galio build.
Yeah. Saying that the most important number on the screen there, though, was 7-0 for On Nico. 7-0, undefeated on that Nico. So On, we'll see if he can carry BLG in a similar way to he's done in the past again. Been so effective for BLG. Many carry games from him on that support role. So the stats will pop up for IG there too, but I'm not going to lie, I was too busy talking about BLGs to protect them. Ow, Sam, stop punching the mic!
Unintentional, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry if you hear the boof.
Just choose side of the head of the
Audio abuse.
Yeah. Top side, early shove from Bin here. Just managed to get that rolling, especially of course with the Pantheon clearing towards bot side first and then coming back up to finish up the clear. It's a little slow getting towards things like these scuttle crabs, but shouldn't change too much here in the grand scheme of things.
And of course, BLG had the information. They used that clone to go on bot side. IG put a lot of defensive wards down on bot side now, using the clone to tank up tower there, actually, just to make sure that they weren't recalling, I think. Gala could walk up and potentially get something there. Beatron not going to be able to find the dive, though. And I have to say, BLG while they were, I think, at one point in time when they had Shin on the roster, the best level 3 diving roster in the world, I think around spring 2023, before the lane swaps came in, with Beichuan and this current meta and turret changes and stuff, I really think that BLG have struggled a little bit more. Hang on, that's going to be a gank from mid lane.
That's a good chunk onto Rookie, but needs to run away with the phase rush. Let's get that proc. Juju, though, is sped up himself and is forced to flash in the end as Knight.
He is still, I mean, Knight still manages to have all his HP, so he doesn't have to reset, which is a bit annoying for Rookie, because he gets chunked on, so he doesn't actually get a good trade afterwards in terms of the actual HP. So Knight is happy staying in lane now at this point. We'll lose a control ward there too, actually, IG and Nanotherms again, similarly annoying.
Been doing his very best to use some of those shields to get some value there, as the Shy will be forced to reset slightly early on here. Look to TP back here. There's the Super Galaxy Rumble soundtrack as he gets that reset off. Forever in my brain.
It's a really good skin. It's just there are some really annoying voice lines on that skin too. It's just, it feels nice playing that skin. It's one of the reasons why Doomby didn't pick Rumble for his world skin, I think it was. It's like, look, there's already a good skin. Oh no, it's Marin. Marin season 5. It's like, there's already a good Rumble skin. I'll pick Renekton instead. In fairness, actually, the SKT Renekton for late game, really, really good too. Gallo Maker doing quite well at not dying in this bot lane, I'll say.
Just thought about it.
Yeah.
We've never had a Rumble skin top from Worlds.
No, but then remember there was a... Look, Rumble was really good in Season 3, 4, 5, which were the early years of it. And then he fell off a cliff up until about 2022. So he's only really been relevant for the last few years.
We had a bit of it in Season 6 too, even if it did become Sunfire Iceborne for a long time.
Not really in Season 6. Not at Worlds, remember.
Yeah, I mean, Season 6 was like Echo
Worlds,
top with the Sunfire Iceborne,
it was Echo, Trundle, Poppy,
yeah.
with like a tiny bit of Fiora occasionally.
Fizz top as well with the Sunfire
That was
Iceborne.
actually more of the Swordfish build, Blade Triforce in about season 5. He did it. Yeah, there were some bits. Hang on, good W there. That's really annoying actually, because now you've lost enough HP off of the members to not be able to contest on the top side in the way that you'd like. BLG matching the swap there from IG as Bin goes in.
Nice public execution towards the Shy, yet to hit level 6. So it's a lot of damage for free. In fact, the Shy may well be forced to flash here. Bin continuing to auto his way through. Turnaround potentially coming on through as the Harpoon lands, but the Shy out of XP range means he didn't hit 6.
Yeah, so Bin takes a good trade, knowing he has the XP advantage. He still doesn't have level 6. Really good from Bin. Now, a reminder that Bin, across his career, has been criticized for not playing some champions, like, tanks in the past. Bin getting a really good game on the Ambassador here would be really good for, a lot of people's opinions on him on a pick that he hasn't succeeded on this year.
Really good management there, using things like the cunning swipe to get that Drakehound step off the back of the minion to threaten again and keep that spacing. Really smooth stuff.
So a good sign there from Bin. Of course, the Shy on the other side. Bin and the Shy had a long history now at this point, where, of course, the Shy knocked Bin out of Worlds 2023 on Weibo's way to a Worlds Finals, which was many people called a shock upset, and today I called it a regular Tuesday for Weibo, because that team just doesn't make sense, and believe me, it hasn't changed with the Shy leaving. He's just brought it to another team as well. Now the curse is spreading, basically. But yeah, no, the Shy and Bin has been a really fun top lane matchup to watch over time, and I'm sure for the entirety of this best of 5, it'll be another one which you'll want to be putting a microscope over. And for those of you who are rats not watching Lost Returns today, would rather watch the LPL, welcome in. Enjoy your
Hello there.
Enjoy your Baus supplement. Alternative. I was about to say Baus Light. I'm like, no, actually, Baus is kind of the Shy Light, actually, in fairness.
The Gregarious. Looking for Rookie. Does land that shielded around into the Winds of War.
That's right on the edge of it. It's quite hard to get that. Anytime that Galio actually trades up on your lane, it's a bit of an issue, because he's never really meant to do that. He's meant to be slowly bleeding out, so he has to reset. Is his teleport coming up, in a minute or two? This one until then. Good E there.
The heal comes on through, on threatened with the ignite though, means that the heal doesn't get as much value as we're hoping for. It's now being caught. Fate's Form used to pull Elk out to safety. On the other side, Galio comes in with a hero's entrance. Shockwave denies the Justice Punch though. Shielded around, not really going to land onto anyone super valuable for a second. Shoved back onto Mako though, who's forced to flash in turn as BLG punished the attempted collapse.
Now that was not a bad plan there from IG. They do end up getting one of the grubs. They don't stop it from being a full sweep of 3. Only the peel from Knight there really stopping that play from going wrong. The immediate ult onto Beichuan. I think that taunt at the end was actually quite important onto JJ to stop him following up onto what could have been quite low HP cleanup. I'm sad. Suppose it out. Didn't know if that was the real.
It's the cannon.
So On has flash and ults. A little bit spooky, actually. Not a bad 2v2 from Gala and Maker. That was the other half of that equation, right? IG found a 2v2, but also found a skirmish around grubs at the same time. Not a bad plan for them. We did say early skirmishes, the name of the game for this series.
Rookie has TP, but JJ used the Grand Stormfall in that last fight. On now lands a wonderful chunk. Not respectful at all. And down goes Gala.
On 7-0 on the Nico, perhaps the most powerful support on the patch and has been for quite some time. On is one of the best players of it here in the LPL. And IG, despite finding a good 2v2 beforehand, can't stick the landing, and that's a problem now. You get that kill over towards the Kalista. We said the Kalista needs to snowball, is going the lethality variant, has gone for the Yomu's first. That's a problem for IG.
Good variant there. Ghostblade is in, more mobility, early kill. That's what we wanted for the snowballing, and it is just a 2v1. The chunk has already come on through. We'd seen the reset on Mako, who'd been left bereft of a lot of his health after the grub skirmish, and Gala really didn't want to give up the way.
Mako just coming in towards mid lane, as is On. Phase 1 here to control some vision. Really well played, actually, by BLG to make sure that it isn't just, you know, Orianna just shoving in mid lane and getting vision on either side of it. BLG have, you know, been trading okay in the mid lane matchup, but then also using that to clear the wards on either side to make sure that IG can't just say, oh, Galio won't be arriving, which you sometimes hope to do so with the Orianna into Galio.
It is Phase 1 on the Raptors right now on Lollipoppy, the best Poppy skin.
It is a Poppy
It
skin
is
of
the
all
best
time.
Poppy skin.
It's a Poppy skin of it is a Poppy skin of all time.
The best Poppy skin of all time. Also, the emote is fantastic. Have you seen the Poppy? It makes a little noise when you use it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Sounds
I know.
gingerbread
You know.
one,
There's a
isn't it?
laughing. Hang on, Ben might be caught out on weak side. We'll see if JJ wants to ult into the play. Currently in a 1v3. Anyone else roaming down? No, not yet. Ben currently alone.
And it might be in the form of Nico, actually, to see a second Poppy on the screen. Tries to jump on board. Perfect execution out of the solar flare. Nicely done. Now Mako's in danger. Knight flash on board with the winds of war. And a wonderful set of outplays from BLG to get a kill.
Okay, newsflash, everyone. Bin has been practicing Ambessa. I repeat, Bin has been practicing Ambessa. That's a problem. Knight now left alone in a 1v3. Oh, and this is a problem. Knight teleported to save Bin. Bin just teleported top lane and won't be saving Knight. Knight feeling a little bit betrayed here.
I came for you. You leave me to die. And they give a kill back over.
I don't know what the comms were there. IG just stick around and go, well, we failed the first time, but still under turret. 1v3. Bin using his teleport to the top, towards the top side. At least Bin will be able to...
We get 2 plates there.
Well, I mean, there's a teleport from Rookie, so that's unlikely to happen fully. JJ also has ult, so I'm not even sure that Bin can really stick around that long. Rookie's holding on to his teleport because they want to go towards Dragon instead. So it will be plates down, but Rookie can teleport down to a fight. BLG might have to get better.
Yeah, they might also be willing to say, look, I've got 2 grubs, you come and fight this. I'm going to get at least 2 plates. There it is. Here's the mid lane look. As Poppy was hit by the shockwave. That's why they were late.
It was Nico, not Poppy.
Nico, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, in the form of that. Flash for Flash as well. Couldn't quite get it.
That's quite important, actually, because, you know, getting rid of the Nico flash, rather, it removes a lot of the playmaking, particularly before you have the rocket belt, the proto belt, which gives you that extra mini dash to increase the range of your ultimate. Your flash is the only way to make those big plays. Yes, does have the Iron Boots for more cooldown on it, but that's a good win there for Rookie in terms of protecting his team from that Nico flash.
We did also call out IG having a lot of immobile carries and a Orianna at level 9 without anything like a Seraphs with no flash can still be at something of risk here in any given conflict. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Potentially valuable, but not without potential downsides as well. Dragon started by
Bin
BLG.
is leaving top lane, so he doesn't have teleport. He's walking his way down to the play. Orianna's not coming down now. BLG need to slow this down a little bit. Need to slow it down. They need to make sure that Ambassador's there. He was just spotted on vision. IG might look for a fight now before he's here. No. They're looking for it. They're looking for it.
He goes on into the battle and misses Gala! And now Elk's in danger. They brought in the hero's entrance, but it's a little too little, a little too late. Trying to play for the dragon. Perfect execution of the backside onto Rookie. Taunt after means they kill off that robot. The shy in the back of the pit with the flame spitter rolling is dangerous. 440 HP. Finally, JJ will manage to pick it up with a comet spear. Binstor heading on forward. He's so damn scary! What the hell is this Ambessa? Over comes Knight. Gala will at least pick up one with the 4th shot. On trying to get one back. Deadly Flurry goes White, been looking for a potential angle onto Gala with a lot of those Greyhound steps. Ends up being the dragon for 2 effective. 1? 2?
So hang on, On's going to die on the other side of that, so it ends up not just being... I don't know what On's doing there. It's been tries to flash forwards, forces Flash to flash onto Gala. The fight ends up being 4 for 3 with that last death, but the dragon goes over to IG. Good dive into the backline. JJ using a good... finds the assassination. Sorry, make that 5 for 3 in the extended trade.
Nice combo there from out the lethality Callista. Always a bit more dangerous than you think. Flash and some martial stepping.
Yeah, the Pierce, very, very high damage at level 9 as well. It tends to be the one that you max first on the lethality. Of course, Elk died very early into that last fight. Pantheon managed to find his way quite easily onto that back end. As the Shy layered the equalizer over the top of it. Can see, though, that IG, if they shotgun comp onto the backline carry of that Callista, they are still at threat to something like the Ambassador, who's picked up a lot of gold. And we have been saying, look, Bin has been playing well in this champion so far. We'll go back and towards the replay. The shotgun lands onto Elk pretty well. Now you see Baytran charging up the ultimate. But he cancels it. So they spot him canceling it. Not exactly sure what happened there. Maybe tried to do that out of vision. But they know suddenly no Poppy available for this fight. E lands onto Elk. Not able to get out of that play. And with the Galliard buying some time, you think, well, some kills, just not enough. However, then the problem is the follow-up from IG's carries is just a little too long range. They can't follow the dive as effectively. And Bin and Knight managed to get a lot of follow-up work, especially at this point in the game where actually solo laners have a lot of damage before the AD carries pick up more consistent DPS.
Gala does at least pick up a few kills in the back end of this. Back kill onto baseline alone is pretty good, and then obviously they do kill off JJ as Knight manages to run away. It's just this moment after where On goes a little too far mid lane. That gives that additional kill up to Gala. Still, jump onto JJ, throw up the Aegis itself, but to what end? The Keeper's verdict on 2 means that this Pantheon can shield bolt all he wants. He's not going anywhere. Knight is TP'd in, and now Mako will not be making anything. He's Breaker.
IG falling prey to BLG's playmaking at this point, and this is a big worry. BLG have a significant gold lead. They can break open different parts of the map. They have the feats of strength, and IG don't have the safety mechanisms which BLG have. We talked about this in draft, but look, BLG, they have the Galliard ult, they have the Callista ult. They've got multiple ways to stop IG from getting onto them, including the Poppy W as well. IG, it looked good around that dragon fight to an extent, but now the rails might just come off a little bit. It might come off the rails, really, because I think IG, they are going to get jumped on more and more.
That they are. BLG, with this current iteration with Baytran joining, have started to really ramp up their early game. They look a lot better than they did 2 months ago, say. Not even that long ago. They have definitely improved. There's still some potential issues in the mid game where they can, with their leads, perhaps overplay a little. They have been known to take some riskier fights than necessary. Elk throwing out that Sentinel does his best to find some value on. There's a clone there. It's going to be the Nico Charm Tom. Misses the Tangle Bars, but jumps onto JJ with the Pop Blossom. In comes the hero's entrance. Shockwave will mean that On's traded back, but now that's a lot of damage still on the front line as Mako again goes down. Bin's TP'd in. Rookie nowhere to run. Has got a dissonance in a dream, but you can't flash away from this. Trying to get in range for the Pierce. Couldn't quite do it as Rookie runs. But unfortunately, that ballerina, she's not dancing anymore. Snapped at the ankle by Ambessa, who is not a fan of Piltover culture. I suppose she was made by Singe, so probably Zornite. I apologize. In comes the Herald all the while. Another charge in. The might spawned everywhere you care to look. And they'll get a charge on the tier 2 as well. BLG with a nasty fight. 1 for 3, plus the tower mid, plus a charge for the Herald for the mid tier 2.
BLG just continuing to press the go button, and this is the fear that we had. Both of these teams very scrappy, lots of follow-up damage. And IG, by falling behind with the less defense mechanisms, are really struggling at this point. JJ thinks he's found a decent pick onto On, but they have the Poppy W. Great timing there. They have the Galley ultimate. And yes, the Shockwave comes through, but it's not enough damage at this point in the game, not from this far behind in the game. And Rookie has to put himself out of position to get in position for the Shockwave. The tether's not that long range. So Rookie, sadly for him, despite I think he's had a decent game, he's pulled himself out of position to look for the Shockwaves, and now he's down 1,000 gold. The Galio has a Magi because it's Knight, of course. And IG, I think they've run out of tools to win this game.
And this Ambessa's now got a Shogun as well. The play patterns change all over again because Ambessa can really cycle through those rotations now. You've got the Edge of Night on the Callista, a lot harder to pick off. Nico doing just fine. This will be a dragon over to BLG. They're second of the game. But we said, look, you need to snowball. BLG have done just that.
Poppy just counters every champion in the game or what? When you're ahead like this, it looks like it, because the more gold you fall behind, as the dragon falls behind, IG fall behind in the dragon stacking as well, the more you fall behind a game, the more you have to overextend and leave yourself open to something like a Poppy W. If you're further ahead in the game, maybe you can open up with the Solar Flare onto the Poppy, and then she can't use the W, the CC chainer, before she can even get the steadfast presence up. You can't do that in a game like this, where the Poppy is very, very tanky, has Merc Treads, has a Galio ult coming over their head as well. And IG, they never really want to target the Poppy in the first place. They want to target down the Kalista if they can, maybe the Ambassador. It's just not been available to them.
Yeah, Poppy's ability to snowball, to provide a lot of CC, and also just like punish anyone who likes to dash can be quite frustrating, to say the least. Not even that many dashes this game. You got what, Leona, Campion? Everyone else is mobile.
The problem is, those dashes are a lot of them engage.
Yeah.
So normally, so it basically leaves you, what is your engage? You have a Jhin W and a Leona roll.
Yeah.
That's your actual CC. Besides that, it's the Zenith Blade, and of course the shield bolt as well. On's had a great game on the Nico, on the whole. I mean, besides that one
Silly death in the mid lane, yeah.
which also means that when IG have been found out in that short range, On's pulled the ult, Knight's pulled the ult, and IG is stuck into the meat grinder at that point. It is hard playing, you know, the melee divers of Pantheon and Leona into the Galio and the Nico. They do continue and play quite well. And Jojo at least gets this might fight.
Worth noting as well, Gala here has got a second. It's a rapid fire cannon. Decided to go towards a little bit more utility, a little bit more safety. And in fairness, if you do overstep this game, you will die as the Jhin. So I understand, especially as an mobile carry, maybe just going for the range option, even if it's at the cost of some upfront damage.
Not actually getting his recoil cancelled, because he has the shield from his W and also from the chain-laced crushes as well, the upgraded Motrin. So he tanks an Orianna QW. That's actually quite scary. The fact that the QW from Orianna doesn't get through the shield is a bit scary. Of course, Galio against double AP solo lane is scary as hell. Dragging up in 3 minutes, and not in the short term that we have to worry about that. BLG resetting, getting back out onto the map.
Nice wave clear there from the Kalista as well. As long as all your minions are lined up, Lethality Kalista can pierce rend the majority of the minions down. Very short order. Mako now potentially in danger. Public execution comes on through. JJ is there. Mako flashing on out. But there's the charge into the wall. That means Mako is again dead. Keeper's Verdict comes on down. Mon will flash over to prevent any escape options for the Pantheon, who man drops into an early grave.
Look, in other regions of the world, this is the 5 minutes of doom when nothing happens until Dragon is back up. Well, welcome to the LPL. We're not like that here. Atacon gets started by BLG after killing off the jungle support of IG. Yes, they invest the Nico flash for it, but they pull ahead in the game. IG will lose things like vision control. They will lose safe access to farming in some parts of the map, and BLG will claim themselves another objective.
And for a comp that likes getting in and getting an initial kill, those stormbound Atacons, those would be really, really annoying. Rookie flashes away. On, gonna heal. A threat potentially for Shockwave. Rocket belts out of it. On. Beautiful spacing. Does undertangle above. Deadly Throw is just wide. Using that clone to body block best he can. Is still being run up by Rookie, who wants this. In comes the Galio's Heroes entrance to keep the Nico alive.
Yeah, Knight peeled off of the play, realizing there's a cross map happening, and he still has the ult to rejoin the player if he wanted to. Realize, hey, there might be an issue with the Leona and the Jhin. It's best that one person dies maximum rather than two. Holds that ultimate, does lose the cooldown, but keeps his Nico alive. And while this is happening, bot lane turret falls in favor of BLG. And actually, I guess they're going to mid lane too.
There's one they prepped earlier. Blue peak to style. The Herald charged on in there and helped secure that one. Gala might finally get a turret for IG. I make sure that as many minions die to this as possible. Cannon doesn't quite fall though, so Bin's going to get the cannon. That's annoying. +1 for Bin.
Bin sat at 5-0-5, had a great game on the Ambassador. We've not said that this year. He's not picked up the Ambassador well compared to players like the Shy, Flandre, Arla. A number of our top laners showing incredible Breathe as well, another great player of it too. The Bin gets a huge trade onto the Shy, I presume, while we were watching the jungle support happenings. Did he get the full kill? Yeah, he did. So while we saw that, I'm not sure whether we picked up on that. The Shy did die to Bin there.
That he did. So 6k lead, 6k lead, including a lot of the early objectives, a lot of things like the Atacon as well, the Snowball as well, and Brilliant. That's a Brutalizer in inventory, by the way, for Elf. Not seen that one on a Kalista in a hot minute.
And very happy for it. Actually, you know what? Actually, I don't know exactly what that'll go towards. It's probably, it might end up being the Voltaic Cycle Source, actually, I'll see. Well, I was wondering if it's going to be the Cerildus, but it doesn't build out of that, so I was like, hang on, that's a bit weird, because that builds out of Last Whisper and the Caulfield. We'll see if it's the Voltaic Cycle Source for the slows for that. Good damage.
All right, Elk, that's just a QE. Nothing more. Just hit rend off your pierce and you do half of Gala's HP bar incidentally. No resist built up, and that's what lethality Calista can do to you. No need for the extended spear stacking.
This looks good because BLG is snowballed.
Yeah.
If this had happened from even or behind, that wouldn't happen. This is actually the issue which BLG had around MSI last year, where we thought, okay, they're definitely the best team in the LPL, but when they came up against a team like Gen G, they couldn't snowball effectively enough to make it look like this. It looked great while they're ahead like this, and I'm glad they can do. Let's see if they can continue to do that in LPL playoffs and potentially beyond that.
I mean, denying Gen G resources feels like catching water with your hands. They always find the stuff that slips through the cracks. It's kind of obnoxious.
Oh, is it Axiom Arc? Yeah, Axiom Arc is actually very, very good for Kai'Sa, because that ultimate, not Kai'Sa, for the Calista, because the ultimate being on a lower cooldown allows the Nico to play so much more aggressively.
And if you get a kill or two, some involvement, you can just use it again mid-fight. We don't see a lot of Axiom Arcanist anymore, really at pro level, but I think this game, I see it. I see it.
Makes a lot of sense. It's always made sense for that. Hang on a second.
Flash available, can look for something, gets the charging, comes the Hero's Edge with the flash on, but the public execution just shy. I'm surprised I didn't land. Z-Axis denying Bin that one, I feel, but it doesn't really matter. They still get 2 kills. And they will bring down the jungler and the support, and you know what's coming up in 10 seconds back.
And I wonder whether they can just go straight towards that 30 seconds till Jedge's up. It might be a bit rough. They don't have the best Baron speed, and you do have that ultimate from the Pantheon. So what's instead going to happen is BLG just control this area. They might force IG to contest. I don't know whether they'll force the full take of it. They do have the Ren from the Calista, but it matters less when you have lethality.
JJ does have the Grand Starfall. It's not that quick, but even then, I think
okay, no, it's going to be down. It's going to be down. Knight instead is going to make sure that Rookie's not doing any funny business over towards that. Baron to the side of BLG. Snowball fully completed.
Go down in nice order. Baron completed. Good stuff from Billy Gaming. Welcome back, BLG. I know it's only one game, but it does feel like this slumbering beast is beginning to wake up. There's the picture-in-picture replay. Nasty angle from base 1.
IG knew that they had to control vision and topside because Baron was coming up. Of course, they die when they're achieving that. And I like the fact that BLG take the fight not on the objective timer where IG think the fight will happen, but slightly before that again where IG think we might just be safe. Of course they weren't. BLG punished.
No. And of course, there it is. The Axiom Arcanist you called out completed.
Oh, sorry, Axiom Arc. Axiom Arc. Axiom Arcanist is the root.
Oh, yeah, that's... And is it this? It is the... It's
Axiom Arc and Axiom Arcanist.
I was wondering if there's Axiom and Axiom as well.
Axiom.
There's one with an N and one with an M.
They're both good. Axiom Arcanist and Axiom Arc. Because they're both about ultimate relations anyway.
That's
so
true.
they're both,
Makes
it's just meant to have that relationship because they're both something to do with your ult ability. Anyway, so what that means is that FL gets some kill participation. Really a lot harder to punish the Nico after that point. Gives them that engage, the ability to throw Nico in, you know, like a Ditto Pokemon, I guess. Yep.
Well, I have lost Nymaera briefly. This was just me. Worry not. In they go. Grand Starfall. Hero's Edge's turn, and that's just JJ split off from the team. Pantheon. Unfortunately to them, it's a team of atheists. Your Pantheon means nothing here. God, unfortunately, the wrong kind of festival. It's looking like the Purge out here for Invictus Gaming. Their name looking a little bit of a lie here. Winds of War comes down, and Rookie will shield himself with command protection. Knight will just his punch out to safety, not fall down to the turrets. And this is looking potentially like Gabe here. Rookie will have to do some mad work alongside the Shy, but they've got no ults. They've not got flashes really either, aside from on the Shy. So Nexus turret number 1 falls. Turrets and TPs beginning to come on in. Would you decide against over-shoving here? The health bar's just a little bit too low.
Yeah, so it's not the end of the game, but it sure feels like it. IG, they fell behind early. They've been trying to claw their way back, but every time they walk forwards, BLG just always punish. They always have another person in place to punish you. Now, Galio has a Seekers and a 21 stack Magi, so he's actually doing good amount of damage, but also it's remaining safe. Of course, has the core of the tank build with the, I guess, Polar Radiance and some extra HP. That's about, no, that's good with the W. That'll do you fine. Minute until Dragon now. BLG on Soul Point. IG, yeah, I'm not even sure like a 5-man Shockwave wins this game anymore. I'm not even sure if that matters. Jeja gonna potentially get caught out by Knight. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. On gets the root afterwards. They're on multiple sides of him, so he can't even get himself an effective E. On the bottom side of the fight, Bin's going 1v3!
God, Gala's health bar disappeared. Knight's brought down the Pantheon. Gala's trying to run best he can. I think Bin will finally fall as Gala manages to kite well there. The Jhin, always surprisingly slippery with the fleet footwork in the passive, but to what end? Where do you run now, Gala? Law finally catches up to him as Poppy, the hero of the hammer, brings down the gavel, and it signs Gala the sentence of death.
There's a wave in top lane. There's a wave in bot lane if they don't want to use that one either. They don't need the dragon. They don't need the soul. BLG have been winning skirmishes since the very start of the game. IG got one dragon away from them, and that was the end of the good news.
4k Baron power play, nearly 5, let's be real, 4.7k rounded up. They've got one Nexus turret between them and victory in game 1, and let's be real, it has been decisive. A final keeper's verdict. We know what the verdict is. BLG, game 1 victory.
BLG send JJ to 0-8 before the Nexus falls. Folks, this is meant to be our closest grouping of seeding. Seed, I believe, 4 versus 5 when it comes into the playoffs. It didn't look like it here. BLG school Invictus Gaming. Now, we know both these teams have their ups and downs. Game 1 is not always going to be indicative of the rest of the series, but BLG forever holding a bit of a chokehold on the rest of the LPL, saying, what happens if they wake up? Games like that tend to be very scary for the rest of the league.
Oh, welcome back, folks. Hello, IB Initialise. This be Nymaera.
Hello.
You may know us from such things as the LEC, a mere Masters back in the day, the stream even, which you could find